Who do you think is going to win this next series? It's as a reminder, it's Closeted Furries against Kathy's Kittens.
No idea.
Yeah, and that's actually a reminder
Uh,
for everybody too, because I do see the numbers dropping a little bit. People might think this is over. We are not finished. That was a 1-0 best of one series right there, but we do have another series that's a best of three right after this to end the season. And before you guys think, okay, we've watched enough, this is a deciding match
Yeah,
of
this
who
is
is the fourth place, the last team to get into playoffs. The season is ending perfectly with the last two teams playing against each other. Only one of them goes to playoffs, and it's being decided tonight.
yeah, this is probably the most important match of the season. I don't think there's a single other game that was literally deciding which team makes it and which team doesn't until literally this one, because Furries and Kathy's had a few games prior to this where the results didn't matter, but I don't think anything was quite as decisive as this, just because of how the tiebreakers are going to pan out. Both of them are going to this match 3-6, so it's pretty tightly contested, and I don't think either of them really has like the general opinion to be the favored team going into it. So it should be a really good series. And on that note, I am going to have to end your interview, Healy, because draft is starting in about 3 minutes. So we got to go over some talking points about that game really quickly. Again, congratulations. Good job on securing that third place. And I hope you and your team have a good celebration going into next week.
Thank you. See ya.
See ya. All right. Okay. So as we already mentioned, this is a very important game. The key match of this game is actually going to be Sam S versus Blake in the jungle. From what I can tell based on the rosters, we could see something else. These players have never played each other, but both of them have insanely good statistics in the jungle. I really have no clue how it's going to kind of pan out. There's a lot of stuff to kind of think about. Then real quickly going to look at Mr. Muffins. He is the substitute top laner for Closeted Furries, has not managed to secure a win for his team yet, but he is someone to look out for. I believe he is ranked Diamond, so definitely scary. He will be playing into CC tonight, who has had a history of having some pretty amazing games into players he is not favored to win matchup-wise, so could see something cool there. And then Kathy is going to be the spotlighted player for the other team. Has 28 games played, 46.4% win rate, 3.5 KD, and has played 10 champs over those 28 games. And I believe this is her first season of playing Scrim, so 28 games in one season is pretty nice. A pretty active player in the server, so shout out to that. I am getting DMs. Okay, they're asking me to leak draft. I'm not doing that. And here is a quick champ overview. Based on what I'm looking at, I believe I spelled Hong Baba's name wrong, so I will regenerate the assets real quickly. Because I was going to say, it's weird that he didn't show up in any of the spotlights, and he's definitely played mid lane before. So should have that fixed shortly, and draft should be starting in about a minute. So just
While we are waiting for that fix, I do have a question for you two.
Yep.
What's up?
I want some predictions. Who's winning? Is it a 2-1 or is it a 2-0?
Oof.
You go first, Dean.
For the hell of it, I'm going to say 2-0 Kathy's Kittens. But honestly, this roster of Closeted has not played yet, I don't think. Losing Chimmy obviously hurts them, but Blake's jungle is such an interesting thing that I honestly have no way of knowing how it's going to go. It's super unpredictable. His favorite jungle champions are Singed and Malphite, so that should tell you all you need to know.
I am going to vote for the Kathy's Kitten as well, but I think it's going to be a 2-1. And they'll alternate games one. I also have a little bit of a leak. Kathleen will be playing on my computer, not her normal computer, so I'm interested to see if that will change anything.
Oh, that could be big. And then, okay, here we go. Hangbaba's featured champion is going to be this Ari, 2-0 on the pick. I doubt he will end up playing it, but just something to look at. And key player spotlight on Hangbaba. Most played champions are Jinx, Victor, Vayne, Lucian, and Nautilus. 95 games played, 55.8% win rate. Pretty strong player, and we should head to draft. It should have been started by now, but it appears it has not. I'm just going to go ahead and ping the teams and ask what is going on. And
So I'm going to also be
okay, there we go. Perfect.
sticking with the Kathy's Kittens on this one, mainly because I've been loving the story they've been throwing up throughout the end of this season and what they've been fighting for to get here and stay for the to make the playoffs, because I'm pretty sure they were the ones that had to put up a massive fight to still get there. Because I believe were they the other team that was also at the bottom for a second.
Yes, they were tied for last for a little bit.
Yeah, they were tied for last for a little bit, and it seems like their last few series they've been coming back and winning and trying to show that they want that shot to be in playoffs to show their improvement and be able to take a game away from them. As we get into this draft, though, we are looking at the champions being banned so far. Blue side has gotten rid of the Gangplank, Malphite, and Silas. Zaya and Seraphine. I'm assuming that the Zaya is much more of a comfort pick. I haven't really seen her shine in meta. Blue side locks in the Victor right away. Victor is a very strong champion. We found very contested amongst many mid laners, including myself, that do play this champion so far in the season. I think he's got a pretty decent amount of games and has been a pretty strong champion in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm gonna butt in here real quick. We've been hyping up Hongbaba's Victor basically all season. He got one game of it. That one is a bit unfortunate. His entire map lost around him, and he kind of got one shot a bunch of games in a row, which was pretty rough. But other than that, he has been pretty performant on the pick, so scary to see it go into his hands. Zach is a bit of a powerful mid laner, so he could have a pretty good counter to it. But the triple ban on Blake is pretty crazy here. A lot of respect shown over to that player. And then the Seraphine, Zaya, and Jinx, a lot of those picks hit both Hongbaba and Will, so just covering their bases in case of that flex to Hongbaba to the AD carry position.
They also hit on Kathy. She plays both. I mean, she plays all three.
Makes sense. That is going to be the Lux, which is basically Zach's signature mid pick. I believe the Lux matchup is slightly in favor of Lux in the early game, but it really depends on execution in the late game team fights. Shaco is being hovered here. I wonder if it will get locked in. We could see the Ivern. Blake is known to love that pick on his team. But this Shaco hover has got me a little concerned. But Soraka is going to end up being locked in. It is one of Kathy's more comfortable champions. And we're going to see Will's Twitch one trick, which was left up. I don't know why this happened. I also just completely blanked. It's one of those champions that gets banned so many times that I kind of just assume it's off the table. But having Will on his one trick is going to be a nightmare for Clawseted Furries. He has shown time and time again that even if he has a bad lane on Twitch, all he needs to do is just build some weird-ass items you've never seen, and he will light up your entire team, and there's nothing you can do about it. So I'm really excited to see this game play out.
Yes, it's definitely nice to see some picks here that are very strong, especially Soraka to be able to keep her team alive. Seeing Victor on Hongbaba and Will with Twitch, this is definitely a lot of strong comfort picks. Not just comfort picks, this is very strong, actually played consistently. The Lucian ban is going to be coming out here to make sure the Lucian Nami is not locked in since it was not taken. Garen is also being played, which also on this patch, Garen's crit damage has been buffed on his E of a spinning blade, so he does a little bit more damage if he has crit, which most of the time, second item, you will see a little bit of crit put on Garen. Coming through now, we do have a Master Yi and a
I will be
Tryndamere
right
ban.
back.
Alrighty, and Kane entered in as the ban for the jungling side. It looks like it might be locked in. It is locked in. Now we're going over to the red side, picking one more champion and saving one of their last picks, depending on what they want to go for. If they want to think more on the ADC, here I would be looking at picking the ADC and keeping the jungle / top counter available. Because we do not know where Garen is going, and it looks like they are going to be hovering the Jhin here, thinking about a 1, 2, 3, 4. Also, Dean, were you aware that in this last patch, Collector, you know how it executes?
Oh yeah, the 4-4-4-4? Yeah.
Yeah, they changed it to
fun.
4-4-4-4 for Jhin. That is hilarious.
Yep.
We do have a Jhin lock in for the ADC, so our bot lane is completely decided on both sides. We have the Twitch Soraka and the Jhin Nami, with the mid lane also already being decided with Lux versus Victor. Now we're waiting to see what blue picks for their final two champions. They could be looking at what Garen is doing. That is the biggest problem they have here.
Yeah, I want to see
is a
Zach and
beautiful
Lilia
engage-
locked in here. CC is a big Lilia player in the top lane, and I believe that's probably the best matchup into the Garen that they have in their
call.
champ pool. So we should just see that locked in. And Sam S's Zach has been absolutely disgusting. They're holding R5 for Blake's jungle pick, though, so we could see something a bit weird. Singed is honestly what I expect. I think it would be quite good into this team comp, but who knows if we'll actually see it. I know Clawseted Furries has been somewhat critical of Blake's off-meta behavior, so we will see.
Looks like the blue team has been very wounded down, and that is a Fiddlesticks jungle. Looks like a Fiddlesticks jungle is going to be coming into the game. Very big for countering if they can control the vision, get that fear off on the team. Beautiful decision. Honestly, I feel like Fiddlesticks has been strong, and I'm pretty sure he's stronger on this patch. It doesn't look like they're going to be playing with that much of a front line compared to dealing with the Zac, Lilia with the Soraka healing the crap out of them. But they do have a lot of blow up and CC potential with the Lux Nami Fiddlesticks.
Yeah, Blake did get to play Fiddlesticks last time, or not last time, but one of the recent times he's jungled for this team. I will just say it's disgusting, and it got banned for about 5 games in a row after it, so the fact that this is left up is kind of big. I've had some DMs from players on both teams. They seem to kind of not know what's been going on. These are 5 insanely comfort champs left up for Kathy's, and Layla gets her Nami, Zac gets his Lux. I believe like both teams basically just have turbo comfort. I'm not sure why all these champions are left available, but I'm really happy. It means that we're going to see really high tier gameplay, so... as a viewer, very excited. As a member of either team, I would be really afraid of playing into the amount of comfort that these players will have on their champions.
You say they both are comfortable. Who do you think won draft?
That's a really good question. I think it depends heavily on Blake's execution of the Fiddlesticks pick and who wins mid lane. Because as we just saw in the previous game, Lux can be insanely scary late game if she gets ahead. But if Victor's able to keep her down in CS and prevent her from getting the item spikes to just absolutely light up Twitch and Victor, it should be a pretty easy win for Kathy's. But I think Blake being able to play around Zac and get that Lux fed is going to be huge this game. Because they don't have too many tools to deal with this Fiddlesticks. Just a fun little note, Blake's jungle Fiddlesticks performance is way better than you would expect from a 3.15 KD here, because his other pick was actually a mid Fiddlesticks, I believe. So he is 2-0 on the pick. They just don't happen to be both jungle selections. Yes, I do have a fun DM from Jacob that I will leak here. He says, that was a fun game. I'm happy. So just for all the viewers watching, just know that Janley, although ending on a 1-9 scoreline, did end off happy. So just
very good. That's
heartwarming moment.
That's all this is. It's not like we're playing for life or death here. Except for Silico, if that's the case, I will put him down if he messes up. I do like the draft from both sides, but I do think Kathy's does have a stronger draft. I think that the amount of engage Zac can put in early, they can really look at camping a lane. It's going to be harder for Lux to get out of lane. It'll be a little bit harder if Jin gets caught out. The amount of pressure that Zac can put in early definitely can play to the advantage of getting anybody into the game a little bit higher than what the red team would like. And then dealing with also the Twitch. If the Twitch gets strong enough to the point where he can roam and could just randomly appear on Lux, it could be a lot of camping on one champion if they decide to do that.
Yep, I think just looking at these champ matchups, I think the jungle one is really funny. Zac loses with a 12.5 KDA. I'm not really sure how that happens, but it has. Nami is 1-0 in this matchup and has an infinite KD, so if Layla does end up dying in this game at some point, that will change. But just some funny numbers going into it. These KDAs for 80 carries seem to both be horrendous in this matchup, so just some funny stats. Don't seem to be super indicative of how these matchups should actually go. Player matchups, we don't have too much data here, except for Garrett and Layla are 2-0 into Will Kathy. I believe these were the bot lanes that were played last time these two teams faced, but the rosters have moved around a bit on the rest of the map. Notably, Will and Kathy performed quite well in that series. Just looking at this scoreline right here, I obviously don't have the full game, but to my recollection, Kathy and Will did play better than their counterparts on the other team. Just didn't end up going their way. Notably, last time Kathy's Kittens played Clawseted Furries, they were missing Hong. And Hong seems to have been their carry going to close out the rest of the season, so that should have a very large impact on how this game will go. I'm just going to look at the total stats for these champions in the server. Twitch, pretty good. Victor, very good. Lilia, insane. Lux is actually 20-20 at this point. Fiddlesticks has a pretty good record as well. Just kind of looking over how these champs are overall, and then going to compare
Jin
that to
Twitch
the current
matchup,
season.
though. I think that Jin Twitch matchup. Jin is actually not a overall a winning champion for it looks like in all of Scrim Zone's records.
Yeah, so I think Jin falls in the same category as the Trist. I have a few words on this. As I believe one of the better players of both of these champions, my top 2 played champions are Jin with 12 picks, Tristana with 11 picks. My Tristana has a 55% win rate, and my Jin has a 75% win rate. I think my running joke in the server is that I'm the only one salvaging these win rates. So is
Everyone
what it
else is running it down.
I am basically half the Jin wins in this server and only 3 of the 32 losses, so I claim no responsibility here. And just to swap these stats over to this season to see how these champions are in strength compared to what they used to be, Jin kind of following the same trend. Lux and Fiddle have been quite good as of late, and Lilia this season kind of popping off 13-5.
Yeah, we can thank Jonah for that one.
True. But
All right. Hopefully I'm back. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, awesome. So I have been relegated to laptop duty.
unfortunate.
Okay. That's fine. I will be right back in 2 seconds. Since you guys are here, you guys can talk for a moment. I'll be right back.
Yep. It looks like the lobby is going to take a little bit, so we might have a bit more downtime than usual going into this game. So I am actually going to try and pull up some numbers on how the rest of this season will go, so we can kind of look at what the impact of this game is. It's pretty straightforward, but just getting to see it visually could be nice. So should be able to just add a new source here. Perfect. Okay. So these were the odds going into it, but now Mimaz has actually defeated Janley. So we should be able to look at these results. And as of right now, this sheet is saying that... Okay. Whatever. I think I kind of messed it up, but it should just be a 50-50. Whichever of these wins gets fourth. And Silicats and Mimaz have locked second and third. Just a quick peek at that. After seeing the draft, who do you think's going to win the game, Noam?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's crazy. Will finally got his Twitch. Was 100% not expecting for that to happen. Garrett is on his comfort pick on the Jin. He hasn't been able to play it, I don't think, in the server. And Blake is on the Fiddlestick. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a little bit easier for Kathy's Kittens to play it. They just have better tools to keep the Garen and the Fiddlesticks away. But I could go either way. I think it's slightly Kathy's favorite here.
Yeah, I mean, Sam getting the Zac is terrifying. He's always played really well on it. Unfortunately, just because the team does have a losing record, they don't have like the greatest win rate on the pick, but their performance on it in basically each of the games has been ridiculously good. Getting the okay, we good, so surely the game will start soon. Not entirely sure why it hasn't already. Looks like we're just waiting on Will. I'm not sure where he is. And also, for those who aren't aware, Garrett's name is Fourth Shot That Thought, so it is a Jin one-trick name. I believe he has been playing other champions on the server, because I don't know if he's still a Jin one-trick, or if he ever was, and it was just like a funny name. But he's tended to play a lot of Ezreal this season when given the choice, but we do get to see this Jin finally come out. There's going to be a lot of burst.
Say Fourth Shot That Thought 4 times 7.
Oh, I cannot, and I refuse to. Simply on principle. I believe Will probably cannot enter the lobby. Probably just restarted his client. Gotta retry. Will is not getting invite. So, yeah, it looks like we are just going to make a new lobby. Shouldn't be too bad. We'll keep you guys posted on that.
Lovely client.
Yep. Got an invite from Will, so Will is able to join a lobby for sure.
That's good.
There are a lot of builds Will could do here. I really don't want him to build AP Twitch because the rest of his team does purely AP damage. Sam does like I just completely spaced. Will would
Magic
like to
damage
build.
with the Sunfire.
Oh, Sam likes buying the
Demonic.
that one, Demonic Embrace.
Yeah.
Extra AP based on the health because Zach is naturally going to build a lot of health, just to help him out. And then the Demonic will scale off of that.
Yeah,
so
honestly,
I'm
it
hoping
might
Will
be a
will
game
go
where you...
with either crit or the 98 tech build that he loves. And I think that one could be better here just because it'll help you survive burst from the Jin, Lux, and Fiddlesticks.
What's 98 tech build?
I believe it is quite similar to the normal Twitch build, except there's a Titanic Hydra in there. So similar to what Cog builds, but it was a thing on Twitch before Kog'Maw, I believe.
I see. Yeah, this might be a game where you forego the Blade of the Ruin King just so that you don't lose damage. I'm assuming the other team will be stacking MR. So if you do end up going Bork, you might just lose out a lot of value that you could have picked up with like a Runons or something like that.
I mean, I also don't think Bork is going to be the most efficient item for damage into any of their champions except for the Garen. Just because he's the only one that's going to really have any health. Fiddlesticks will have like a little bit, but not something that you'd actually want to itemize an anti-tank item into. Okay, we are finally into champ select.
Woo! Let's go.
So yeah, it'll still be a while before we get into game, but is what it is.
So you have, as of right now, your team does not have any idea of who they would pick between the 3 teams that are up right now to pick to go against?
We have an idea. It literally just depends on who wins. It's like a flow chart thing. Like if one team wins, we pick one, and then if the other wins, we pick another one. I'm just not gonna leak it.
So what you're basically just saying is if one team wins, you guys are going to instead pick Mimaz, and if the other team wins, you're going to pick that team. Yeah, that's what you're saying. Okay, good. Now...
Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
You're busy. You're all good. I understand. So anyways, guys, getting back into a little bit more talk about the matchup. As we've said before, for those of you that might have walked to go get a drink or something, as I just did, this series right here, the best of 3, does decide which team will be joining us in the playoffs. So these teams are both kind of tied for the 4th and 5th position, and only 4 teams out of the 6 from the season will be going into playoffs to face off against now the other 3 teams that are sitting at the top of the area where we're looking at right now. We do have first place of the Kittens Grooming Services, second place is Silicats, and third place will be Mimaz Kittens. But yes, Kathy's Kittens and Clawseted Furries are both tied for 4th. And this game right here to end the season does decide who joins in the playoff run to take Season 4 and be the Scrim Zone champions. If that's what you call it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we just say winning. Championship. I don't know. We do have a Hall of Fame that just has screenshots of all the brackets, so it's a bit scuffed. We have hit that 3 minute till game start mark. I don't know. This game, I'm just like so tense. I just want to like start watching the game, you know.
Do we have predictions in chat?
Oh shoot. Yeah, I'll get that going.
Everybody in chat
predictions
right now,
paid out for last game.
Yep.
We are going to be setting up our predictions in chat to who you think is going to win. You guys can use your little bubble points you've gained from watching the stream to put your votes in of who you think is going to win the series.
Okay, I'll give the full 5 minutes this time. Should be up. All right, it looks like we should be able to predict now.
Should I drop it all right now?
If you're confident.
Is this just for one match or for all of them?
Oh, just for the first match. We'll do it match by match basis. That allows for more predictions, which is
I
better.
have 3,000. I'll play around with it. I'll put 1,000 right now.
Huge.
Looks
I'm
like
not
nobody
very
so far
confident,
is
so
voting
I'm betting low. So
nobody so far has put anything in for the
no furries, Faith. Tragic.
Yeah, no furries. Yeah, Closet Furries.
Not the 1-to-1 payout for Kathy's. You simply just lose all your money and no one gains anything. Yeah, looking at this
Critical
draft,
absence.
Kathy's does have a couple frontliners, but the way that they frontline in this game is going to be pretty non-traditional, because Lilia is going to frontline in the sense that she zones everyone off the other team
Which
by
actually allows
sleeping
Fiddlesticks to
them.
be like, "What's up?"
Right. And then Zach is in the front line, but has to slingshot himself there most of the time. And then Clawseted Furries is similar in the sense that Fiddlesticks is going to be providing CC in a way similar to how Lily is going to be doing it. And then Garen is just more of a traditional frontliner. But if he ends up going the full, like a crit build, could be different. I think the focus this game is going to be on mid lane and top lane. I have no doubt in my mind that Will and Kathy should be able to win this lane. Will is just like a Twitch absolute menace, and I think I like the matchup for him, especially with his experience on the champion. So just all my eyes are going to be on this Victor versus Lux matchup, and if Garen's able to get a snowball, that could be quite bad for the other team as well.
Seems like there's a critical lack of furries in this server. Unfortunate.
Looks like it is right now a 4-0 voting on this one. So either everybody's losing a lot of money and nobody is getting anything out of it. Someone right now should totally put a vote on the Furries because you will get a massive payout.
That's very true. We should be loading into game now, but we will see if I get stuck in a loading jail. Could
Where is
happen.
Jonah to vote? I'm gonna message Jonah.
Yeah, just so we're aware, even though Garrett does have a Jin one-trick nickname, he only has 132k on Jin, and then Will is sitting pretty with 770,000 on Twitch. Zach does have 430k on the Lux, though, so that's something to watch out for. And Mr. Muffins is rocking a solid 240,000 on Garen, so just some very large mastery numbers this game. Could be interesting to see how this plays out. A lot of comfort, as I was talking about earlier, for both teams. And we should be in game now, just waiting for OBS to work. And here we go. The teams have entered the Rift. Clawseted Furries is known for some invade shenanigans, and they are moving as 5. Probably going to path for a bush, and we'll see if any of the members of Kathy's are going to get cut off. Hong should have spotted this invade. I'm not sure if it was on vision or not. It appears it might not have been.
And here comes some payout over here, over for Furries on here in the last minute. Looks like that is a 1-39 ratio.
So that 100 points could turn out to be 3,900. It's still a 1-to-1 for the other side.
That's such a gamble that like just pays out for, you know, risk nothing, gain everything.
Exactly.
It's like we're not going to be dealing with too much craziness into the first game. Red did get a little bit of vision over on the Raptors for when Zach gets over there. But other than that, it's just kind of it's going to be some standard play. I think both teams look like they want to start on the bot side, so we will have potentially another early scuttle on the top side for both teams. Might contest. Last time we did see the Sejuani just give it up and go for the full clear and see how that goes. Game is getting underway. Our first game of a 3-game series for Kathy's Kittens versus Clawseted Furries.
Yep. Blake is rocking the first strike this game. It's going to help with his gank potential. Just a lot of extra damage. The 10% multiplier will be quite nice. It might actually be slightly reduced because it's ranged, I think. But either way, it's just going to be a lot of extra damage and gold whenever he is able to initiate a fight. He did go with the refill pot start on the Fiddlesticks instead of the control ward plus 1 red pot you typically could see. It gives him slightly less like safety and vision control, but it makes his clear a lot easier because he doesn't have to worry about only having the 1 pot.
We do see a little bit of trading in the mid lane, which is very typical for mages, trying to gain a little bit of prio over each other and try and knock each other's health bars down a little bit. Early level 2 coming in for the red team. Going to put in some damage on that Twitch, lower him down. Back to the trading in the mid lane. Lux does hit that bind again, which is going to lower Hong Baba even more.
Yeah, this early lane is really difficult for Twitch just because it's a Twitch in the early game. He doesn't really do too much until he hits 6, and even then he still struggles to do a lot until he gets multiple items. But if Twitch is able to get any sort of lead at all, he can simply just invis and just light people up immediately. So something to watch for later into the game. CC is trying his best to kind of mitigate his losses into the Diamond player that we have not known too much about. So should be an interesting lane to watch. Hong dodges the Q, walking in pretty aggressively.
See right here, Zach is now coming in to deal with the Mr. Muffins. Garen is going to silence him and try and get a little bit of a run off. Gets behind the minions, still gets grabbed by the Zach. Garen gets pulled back in, some damage coming on. Garen is going to flash out of there, get a little bit of a runaway going. Garen's passive, luckily, is going to be that the longer he stays out of combat, he's just going to be sitting there gaining health, so he'll be able to sustain and stay back in lane without having to worry about not having teleport. Looks like the Scuttle Crab is going to be taken by the Zach. Fiddle now coming in for the counter gank, but Lilia is pretty much too safe to even do anything on. That's going to be a knock-up hit, which does go invisible, and Soraka does block the bind. But now they're going back into the trading, getting some poke damage in. Twitch is trying to get a little bit more advantage into this lane. This is what you deal with when you see a Soraka. No matter how much you trade with him, he will heal back up because the Soraka is there to keep his health bar at a decent spot. A little bit of a lane pressure. Fiddlesticks trying to come in and get the Lux. I don't know, Lux left the lane for a second, but they are going to put some damage in, get the fear, get the root. Oh, and he actually does flash out right before the bind would hit. Having a burn flash, there's a really good thing. He's not aware that Zach already took the Scuttle Crab. This might not be a fight that he wants. Zach does decide to leave. But he did get the Scuttle Crab, and so far is up 1 CS over the Fiddle.
While action has died down a little bit, I do want to have a little bit of a side comment. From my experience playing against Mr. Muffins, he's really good at getting advantages in the lane, but sometimes it's hard for him to leverage that advantage for the rest of his team. I think his CSing in the games against us was insanely good, like nearly 10 CS a minute in both games that we played, but the rest of his team was behind, and it meant that he wasn't able to get a lot done, even with that.
Good. You can see Garen, though, being a, as we said before, a much higher caliber player, a really good player at the game, is able to keep his CS up no matter how his lane state is gone, being ganked early and forcing to use flash. Still keeps his farming very relevant. And looks like bot lane is starting to get a little bit more of an insurgency on shoving their lane in, which is kind of a bad timing for Zach to come down here. But might go for a little bit of a setup of a lane gank and take the time to reset. Yep. There is no vision so far on the Zach sneaking down here, but there's also no vision on the Fiddlesticks that Lilia is just walking straight into. She's going to flash out right away, not waste the time, not lose too much health in that whole thing, which is a very smart play since Garen does have a silence, could stall her flash out. Garen also burned the ignite there. Looks like a trade's coming down. Zach does get the gank off, keeping both together, colliding, putting into the damage. Getting very, very low. Exhausted after Zach flashed in to try and finish up that kill. Did not end up panning out for them to get that first blood. Looks like also there's going to be a trade in the top side right now. Garen putting in a lot of damage. Lilia forced to ult here. Puts in the damage back into the Garen. Just kind of trying to kite the Garen out. Zach going back in. Gets the grab. Just walks out of range. Does not get to pull him back into that one. Right here, Lilia now has no flash and has no ult. Fiddlesticks is coming around. Fiddlesticks ignores it. Oh, he's sneaking back in. Lilia might not notice that Fiddlesticks is right behind her. This is actually going to probably be a secured kill for
this should
Garen.
Just be the Garen
here.
ultimate. Yep, easy first blood.
And that is for Demacia. They do trade it to the bot side. Beautiful play there, giving it over. Sadly, Zach did get the kill. I would have preferred to see that on the Twitch, but they did trade it, so the gold lead does not become a problem. Beautiful trades out of both teams, playing one side weak and giving the other one. Garen is now going to be a little bit harder for Lilia to deal with. And Jin having to burn his flash earlier, Nami not having her summoners, gives a little bit of prio to the bot lane on blue side.
Yeah, Fiddle's doing a really good job here punishing the Zac by invading. And Sam is actually not looking to pick up the dragon, which would normally be what you see. He is able to get a pretty good pull onto the Lux, and the Victor ult does come down, but will not be able to pick up a kill, but should give Hung enough prio to just kind of shove out this wave and get a nice base.
Yes, and Lux is also out of mana, so that is going to be hard for her to deal with. But Fiddlesticks is in a close area and looking like he's thinking about coming on down to see what's going on. He is 6, and that is a flashless Victor still at this point. So, and the root hits, and Fiddlesticks is just going to walk in, get the silence, does not get the fear. Waste the flash there to not even capitalize on CCing the Victor up.
Yeah. Did force this Ghost out of Victor, but the value between those two summoner spells is just not the same. Fiddle was not actually on a ward in the brush, so probably could have just popped the ult and gone for something, but
That's what I was expecting.
chooses not to do that, potentially thinking he was on vision. Not sure. Something that is of note is that Victor has Ghost, Lux has Exhaust, and Garen has Ignite, so there's only going to be one teleport in this game, and it is on CC on the Lilia.
It's really crazy because I don't see too many mid laners not run teleport when I play against them. Maybe they just know I like to run teleport, but Lilia now going to be trying to farm this out, and Garen is still there waiting for Lilia to overstep. She's just kind of taking her time, understanding that Garen does put a little bit of prio in there, gets the silence off, putting in the damage, just kind of letting her know if she steps too close, he will pop her. Lilia getting her movement speed passive moving by just hitting the wave as much as she can with abilities. So Garen can't keep up with her. Garen does flash forward, does drop the Ignite, gets the E, and puts it down for Demacia. 2-0 in the top lane. On a solo kill at that. Zac coming back down, trying to, once again, transfer it over. It looks like they're going to be coming down. The mid laner's coming down, but Twitch does clean it up and gets the kill. Stopping the Zac, trying to get Nami out of there. Beautiful job on Lux to try and stop the rest of that engage happening. But Twitch now on the board with a kill, which is what you want for the blue team.
Yeah, this should lead to a dragon for the side of Kathy's Kittens. If they're able to get these stacked, that would be quite good for them. It looks like Hong is trying his best to pressure them off this Rift Herald, but I'm not sure if this is a fight he wins, especially with the Lux showing up. Hong does drop the Chaos Storm, but is a bit too late to interrupt the channel on the Fiddle, and Mr. Muffins walks into the Snowball to tank it so that it doesn't spill onto Blake, killing him. And I believe
That gravity well was so insane.
Yes,
It
it
really
was. Very,
was.
very beautiful.
Victor canceled Fiddlesticks all there.
Oh, I didn't see that. Did the Gravity Well cancel it,
Yeah.
or did Chaos Storm get it?
I think it was the gravity.
Looks like Zac is thinking about going back in. That is a root over onto the Twitch. They're putting some damage in. It looks like Jhin is going to be popping off the ult, trying to get the Twitch. Twitch is going to be guarding these. Takes a little more of a trade, lose some health, and they're going to start coming forward thinking they're safe. But Zac is here once again. Coming in for the game, getting it, dropping both down. They're getting super low, and Twitch is going to come in for more damage, but Zac is going to be the one to answer that kill.
Yeah, this has been a recurring problem for Kathy's, where Sam makes insane plays and just ends up getting so many of the kills. I really don't think it's intentional, and he's had games where he's been focusing on not having that happen more, but there are definitely a couple of games that could have gone differently if all of that gold was being infused onto the AD carry or the mid laner instead of on the Zac. So just something to watch, but Will does at least have one kill here. Looks like he is going to go for that Bork that we were talking about, but I don't think it's going to be like the most harmful thing, especially because he does have this early gold lead.
Looks like Fiddle is now hovering, wondering if the Twitch Soraka are going to do anything, and Twitch is going up for it.
The ult's out.
Damage, trying to get the stacks up. Fiddle is coming in with the ultimate as well. Placing it onto Soraka, getting the fear on her, getting the damage in. Soraka flashes out. Twitch does not have any summoners. We're wondering if Twitch can get away. That is a smite to slow him down. Soraka puts the ult out, trying to keep the health bars up. Jhin is still walking forward. That's some damage, and Nami gets the Twitch. Twitch does not escape. Running away, and it looks like Twitch dies to Fiddlesticks.
Yeah, I mean, that was super close. Kathy gets a lot of work done just healing him up, but unfortunately he does fall despite her best efforts. CC's trying to play pretty aggressively here, but I honestly don't know how much kill threat Lily has onto Garen, just because both of them do have a lot of movement speed, and when Garen pops the Q, he just cleanses the slow and should be able to just run out.
Looks like Garen is going for the attack speed build here. He has the Berserker's Greaves. That does mean that his E will do more damage, or will tick more often. So definitely interesting there, opting not to go for the Merc Treads into the almost full AP team.
Yeah, also an early, or not an early, but he's going for the Stride Breaker, which should help slow the movement speed of the Victor and the Lilia, who are both going to be moving quite fast in these team fights. The Victor with the Ghost and Lily is just a fast champion, so getting that like cripple slow onto her during laning fights could be really important, especially with that Ignite. Ultimate, he's really going to be looking for kill threat here.
And he will have it. That is a Garen that is 2-0. That is already getting much closer to finishing his finishing his mythic item and getting his build going. Twitch is now trying to get some farm in, but they know Soraka is not there. She's walking into the jungle, so they're kind of pushing him back a little bit. Now they step back because they are unaware of where Victor is at this moment. Looks like Fiddlestick's also coming back over, looking for the Rift Herald once again, while Zach is farming on bot side. Should be a pretty free Rift Herald because Victor did try and get some pressure into bot lane, and this just leaves open the entire top side of the map for the top lane and the jungler to do what they do best and just take that Rift Herald away.
Yep, Twitch and Victor have the first 2 completed legendary and mythic items in the game. Victor with a very good CS lead, kind of matches the Garen's, though I believe the Garen's is a bit better. CC's in a bit of a bad spot now, but should be able to just walk out from this. Has the flash if things go too poorly. But we might just see top tower fall here. The Rift Herald will do enough damage so that the Garen should be able to just tap it. There is going to be no help for the Lilia, so CC might just have to walk back and give here. Sam's caught out in a bit of a rough spot here.
So he's trying to answer, and he does get rooted down. Nami goes to the bubble, gets the knockup. Lux is here with the root, and that is a lot of damage. He flashes out of there. He's going to have to set up his E. He doesn't. He actually walks away and escapes just fine. Twitch comes in to support him, but Lilia now has to be careful of the Garen, who is standing right on top of her, putting in some damage. That was the first turret over the Clawseted Furries.
Yeah, that actually results in about a 2,000 gold lead, which is not what you want to be seeing if you are one of the people who put like 3,000 channel points into Kathy's Kittens. We have some believers, but it's not looking the best for them right now. The Ignite and Ultimate are just going to get dropped down, and CC has fallen again. This is a 3-0 Garen in the top lane.
Yeah, that is a very strong play by Garen to wait around a little bit. Lilia not respecting that Garen's presence just around there. Zach going in now, playing the bot side like he has been this whole time, but he does get knocked up from the Nami bubble. Twitch goes and puts ultimate, trying to get some damage into the Nami. Not going to be enough, though, it doesn't look like, but just in case, Jhin does burn the flash, a heal, keeping the Nami alive, just in case. Looks like that does open up the bot lane, having to leave, allowing the bot side of the blue side to come over to the Dragon Pit and help Zach get this leash in, but doesn't matter because Fiddlestick's there with ultimate and deletes the Soraka right away. Twitch is now just showing up to the fight, but does not have ultimate for this fight. Victor coming into the back end. It looks like Fiddlestick's going to have to flash out of there, try and get in. Victor's going into the Lux, puts the silence in. Lux does not have Summoners to get out of there and drops to the Victor Storm. And it looks like Zach takes the dragon. Victor's still shoving in. Fiddlestick still trying to walk away. Doesn't know where to go. Passes over a control ward. Has to try to find a way out. Hopefully he can get to the turret before anybody can get over there. And suicide. Make sure nobody gets the gold. Looks like that's what exactly is going to happen. I'm surprised Jhin was also able to just survive there. Looks like the team all kind of split up. Garen trying to get some more farm down. Gets grabbed by the Zach. But will it be enough? No, he does. He just runs away. he just runs away. I don't know if that's an Udyr at this point or what, but he just runs away.
Yeah,
Blake and running it down into a turret. Name a more iconic duo.
So true. Victor is sitting at 7 hex bits away from his second augment. Champion gets incredibly strong. The more of those he gets, once he hits 3, his ultimate also gets the upgrade. He's on a pretty good pace here. Second augment at about 16.5 minutes. Puts him in a pretty good spot. At this point, he should have the Aftershock and the Siphon Strike upgraded, and the Gravity Well would be the final one.
Like now, Twitch coming up the top side to get as much resources as he can, taking as much gold for himself and stopping that Garen from taking another turret. Garen is just kind of roaming around, seeing if there's any jungle camps up, seeing if he can apply pressure anywhere. So got a good little lane swap here. It looks like even though there is a lane swap, Lilia and Zach are both down here to try and do something to this Jhin. I don't know what the plan is. They do drop the ultimate. Nami does put the ultimate down too. The tidal wave to stop them from engaging on the Jhin.
Oh, Sam's just going for it.
Yeah, he goes in, gets the ultimate off, puts the Jhin down low, gives it over to the Lilia. Lilia now putting the damage on Nami, while Nami is just barely surviving, getting burned down. That turret shot's having to flash out very low. The Zach does clean it up. I think Zach's passive is up and should keep him alive. Yep. Looks like
yeah, Sam is a bit of a connoisseur of the tower dives on Zach. Knows right when he's allowed to go in and get his limits. CC did tank a bit more than he'd normally expect. Normally Sam is coordinating these dives with Will and Kathy, but because of the lane swap, it is a different combination here.
Like Lux is trying to clear the way, but the turret might fall, and Zach is going in, forcing the flash out of Lux. Lux is still getting grabbed by some CC down here. Fiddlesticks makes his way down. Looks like Lilia and Zach are going to walk away. They don't want any trouble.
Yeah, the gold
Yeah,
lead
I think this
is
is
a
best
lot.
case.
Go ahead.
Mind you, while all this is going on, blue side is pushing up through the top. Looks like
Nope.
Garen was just getting some... What the heck just happened there? Looks like they were backing away, getting some wave going. Lux does not hit the bind. Looks like Lilia is just looking to clear the wave still. Oh, Zach went back in. It was a bait all along. Okay, and Lilia cleans that up. Victor now running away from the Garen, but I don't know if he can get out of this. Gets flashed and still killed by the Garen ultimate. Looks like Twitch is now fighting up the Jin. This is a very strong Twitch at this point, and deletes Jin right away. 3 different fights in 3 different lanes going down. Mind you, none of the champions died in their starting positions.
Yeah, so I was gonna say before the team so rudely interrupted me, I think this is best case for Kathy. It's like they might be down about 1,000 gold, but they're up 2 drags, and their team does scale better. Like, I mean, I think it's just really good for them.
Did you say before Dean really interrupted you?
Yeah, but both teams started fighting right as I was gonna start talking. It's super rude of them.
SMH, why play League of Legends when no one can talk?
Right, like, come on, man. I have important things to say.
So, one thing I would like to go over though is you are seeing right now the setbacks that Jin is on right now, the strength of the Twitch, the Zac. You're seeing a lot of these power things. But one thing that people are probably missing is if you look at the top of the screen, even though it is 8-6 with 2 dragons over to blue, Red still has the gold lead because of how far ahead Garen is. That is a 3k gold difference right now between the Garen and the Lilia. 2 top laners, almost pretty much a full item difference, which makes this Garen super hard to deal with, and we're going to hopefully see that at some point if Garen can get into one of these fights.
Yeah, Fiddlesticks is also sitting on about 200 extra gold from First Strike, which I believe is basically the amount of gold he has as a lead. So getting some value from that.
Opening up the ultimate right here. They're going to be putting some silence. They're going for the damage in, and Garen is right in the middle, and Nami is also there. Lux with another snipe. I'm loving these snipes from Luxus today. Twitch is now trying to poke some damage back in. Does drain the ultimate, but can't really find an opener with anything. That was a beautiful kill by Lux. It was a beautiful play by everybody to engage right there and decide to go right in. And they're getting this dragon set up, and now Kathy's Kittens has to play without a Lilia.
Lilia should be able to TP in before the dragon spawns, but this might just be a give up the dragon angle, maybe look for something else on the map.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually going to think the opposite. I think Lilia might just want to TP in because the ultimate is available. So that would provide a lot of value, and they might be able to flip the fight. Because Jin and Nami ultimates are both down, but the Lilia ultimate should be enough to swing the fight.
Right between all of them, trying to put some damage into the Fiddlesticks. Pops the ult, but is rooted. Lux has ult again. Look at those health bars. Drop, baby. Jin's going in, putting in some damage. Fiddle's also there. Uses the stopwatch to try and stay alive a little bit longer, but Victor is just hurting, and Twitch ends that Fiddlesticks. No jungler now. Dragon's still up. Only smite on the blue side. During this time, Garen was shoving on the bot side, getting that wave pushed in even harder on them. If nobody mass set, that's going to be a lot of minions lost. But it looks like this is how much pressure this Garen has. You notice how there's only 2 of them at the dragon and 2 of them in mid lane. And Kathy's Kittens are still scared to walk forward because Garen is just such a strong champion right now in this matchup, being 4-0-1, up with a massive, massive CS lead. Right
Yeah,
now,
if Garen walks up here, he should just be able to get hit by the Lilia.
Garen is still walking up, seeing there's 4 of them here. the cojones on this man.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I almost had a heart attack there, but CC should just be able to tag Garen with any ability and just insta-sleep, which would have made that a really bad call to go in there. That is some of the utility Lilia provides in this matchup. Garen's able to get the tenacity to make the sleep last a little bit of a shorter duration, but the amount of burst you'll get from your team is just enough that the Garen has no right to step up into a Lilia with ultimate.
Let's be 100% real here. If I was that Garen, I was going in. You know how many times in our last, not our last match, but our last series before that one, Gnome had to tell me to stop seeing red?
You know, after watching the game yesterday, I'm not terribly surprised.
Once I'm fueled, I'm just going.
This will be quite bad for
Yeah.
Lilia if she has no way out.
Garen's on 3 items already.
Yeah, I believe has
Nice.
the most gold in the game, and it's kind of not close, up about 2,000.
Yep, compared to Victor.
Yep.
This is pretty similar to what we were seeing from him in the series against us. He's just really efficient at farming and getting towers.
Yep.
Careful,
Pong is
Lilia
quite
walks right
strong.
into Garen, but Zach is also here. That is a sleep Garen, but Garen flashes out and gets a little bit of a runaway going, gets out of there before things get a little bit too much of a problem for him.
Yeah, I mean, the CC layering there was really good, and Will's able to steal the the scuttle crab away. The hat tip emote.
Tip the hat.
Love it. Blowing that flash on Garen is actually really critical, especially before the next Baron fight and the next Dragon fight. Could be big. Will's in a tough position here, but might be able to just one-shot the Fiddlesticks, going for it. Holds the ultimate for now, but Victor should be able to finish him off.
Saving the ultimate too. Beautiful.
And gifts
Victor
it over
not
to
roll-
the
or-
Twitch.
I don't know if that was my choice. Oh, Zach going in here. They're looking to get some more out of this. Looks like it is another 5 versus 4 scenario here. For the blue side, you got the 5. Lux ain't able to get anybody grabbed right there. Looks like they are going to go for this turret. Hoping they can get it down, but it doesn't look like they can do it. The amount of minions is just not where they need it to be.
Yeah, this game is really intense. I do favor Kathy's Kittens' position here. Even though they are down about 1,000 gold, the 3 dragons do make up for that. And if their team is able to get Cloud Soul, that's kind of ridiculous. A lot of these champions are super fast anyway, and getting that bonus movement speed on like the Lilia and the Victor and the Twitch is going to be pretty nuts. They already have really good flank potential, but their ability to move around the map out of combat will be insane. And if Victor or Lily are able to hit the right members with like a nice ultimate and just get enough damage, that could easily turn fights that otherwise Clawseted Furries would be able to win.
Yes, agreed. I think that actually Cloud on both teams would be pretty strong. Garen and Jin dealing with extra movement speed. And before we get any further into that, Lilia has to flash out because she was rooted by the Jin there. Takes away. So both top laners do not have flash at this time, which is actually kind of a little bit nicer for
Hong's able to secure blue buff. Jinx crying, laughing.
The amount of emotes being thrown for steals here is just amazing.
Yep.
Let's hope that this Luck learned a little bit of a something and probably could steal at least one objective.
Yeah, the Cloud Soul for either team makes an interesting scenario around the Fiddlesticks ultimate because the increased out-of-combat movement speed to run away from it is very important, but also the increased movement speed with Fiddle ultimate is also scarily important. So.
Also, the Jin. Have you ever seen a Jin with 2 or 3 Cloud Drakes on him? It is
Disgusting.
impossible to hit him because his crit bullets make him already move really fast.
Yep, he is going for the Bloodthirster second, I think. I'm glad it's not Collector. I don't know how I feel about BT over something like the Lord Dominic's, but just glad to see it's not a Collector.
Oh, there's a pop of damage, but the Soraka is like, no, you can stay healthy for a moment. We'll get you back up there in no time. Lux zoning the Soraka away. Hopefully blue team waits a little bit before they get into this, because Soraka is not in a position to keep anybody alive. Lily on the back end, but Garen is shoving her back. It's exactly where you want your Lilia to be, because if she hits one beautiful ball, it's going to put some people to sleep. Jin pops the ultimate real quick because Lux was getting traded with damage. I don't know if this is for slows or for damage or just control, but they did get all of it. Looks like they're going to be setting up, and the dragon is now just spawning. Lux is already pretty low. She's going to have to play a little more of a sniper fight. So far, it looks like red team might be backing up a little bit. Don't know if this is waiting for a Fiddlesticks angle, so since they cannot see him, he goes in with the ultimate fear. Garen also getting ready to jump on.
Oh my God.
Getting blown up, but Garen is now here, putting in some damage. Looks like Fiddlesticks ultimate's going to come in and join the Garen, putting the fear on all of them, putting in the Zonias. Garen's still alive, but dies to Twitch. Massive shutdown over. Zach also cleans up the Fiddlesticks, and that is a Kathy's Kittens wins and gets Dragon's Soul.
They might just be able to turn this into a Baron afterwards as well. That would be a huge turn for them. They just secured the gold lead by winning that fight, and if they're able to just get the Baron, that could give them a lot of pressure to make the game solidly in their favor.
How much was that? How much was that?
It was 1,000.
Yeah, 1,000 gold onto the Twitch. That is exactly who you wanted to get that too.
Yeah, the Runan should be coming out basically as soon as he bags. We can check.
Yeah.
So I think he's slightly under the threshold. After the Baron, it'll be quite close. Does not have a starter item left to sell, so we might see him watch a few camps to clear, and then should end up with that Runan before too long.
And that is very massive. I think Kathy Kittens winning that fight overall and getting the shutdown on Garen and handing it over to the Twitch is just, that's exactly, they are in the perfect position they wanted to be in. They have Soul, they have Baron. Twitch is now much stronger than he already was. This is a beautiful position for them.
Yeah. Looking at the supports in particular, as all team voting is starting off soon, I will unfortunately not be able to vote for me or Eric as first Scrims support. So these two are the ones I've actually been looking at the most. Kathy and Layla have both been performing really, really well. So I just wanted to pay special attention to this matchup throughout the series. Layla's only ever played 2 champs in Scrims. I believe one of the only players to have only 2 champions played over this many games. Certainly the only one to have this many, but usually if players are pretty obviously 2 tricks, they start getting banned out. So that's just something that I've been interested in, to see if we will get to see a 3rd champion enter her pool. And Kathy's Soraka has kind of been disgusting all season.
Like Garen still is playing in a position to catch the Lilia off guard. Lilia is just going to die there. She knows she's not getting out of that. She does not have flash available. Easy kill for Garen. Zach now is going to be joining into the fights and putting Fiddlesticks in a horrible position. Fiddlesticks going to be jumping out of there a little bit, and it looks like Victor also gets grabbed, but Soraka keeps Tim alive. Everyone is dropping so low on the red team. Victor cleans up one, Twitch cleans up the other. Twitch is just going to end this game. Will is on fire!
Oh my god.
Yeah,
That was so dirty.
I mean, I got a DM from Jonah shortly. Why are they giving him Twitch? And we have the all chat, ban the rat next game. I don't know why it didn't happen already. This seems to be the only team that didn't get the memo. And Jin says spelled Zach wrong, seemingly refusing to admit that his lane is the one getting gapped. Kind of funny. But yeah, that fight kind of exemplifies what I was just talking about earlier. Kathy played it insanely. Hong was dropping pretty low there, and same with Will, but her ultimate was really well timed to keep both of the carries alive for the rest of the fight. Sam is just going to tank tower, and his passive is going to save him here, but Will and Teddy should just be able to end the game really quickly here. First game secured for Kathy's Kittens, and we should see side select for the next game coming out soon.
Easy point payout.
Payout, baby. That payout. I feel bad for whoever voted for Furries. That you just lost a lot of money.
Yeah, but I haven't tried this long yet, so I don't know what it tastes like. Have you had it already?
Beautiful series out of game 1. Looking at the amount of the shift in those team fights when it was coming down. There was a very, very close game for the early parts of it. Looking at that Garen being super strong and Lilia not being able to answer anything on that Garen. It's very sad to see that they couldn't close out because of the fact that Zach was knowing very well to camp Will, get that Twitch going, because it was every single time you saw something happen top, it was matched in the bot lane. Overall, I would like to kind of go over who we think was the carry. I'm not gonna throw out there what I already expect everybody's answer to be. So no,
it has to be Zach or Twitch. So Sam S or Will. I think you could make an argument for both, but I kind of want to hear what you guys have to say.
My argument is going to be Zach. I think overall the amount of insurgency he had for his bot lane, the amount of times he was there ready. I mean, he would walk out of the lane, he took Dragon, came right back. He was ignoring doing what most Zacks do well, which is get the clears in to keep over ganking. If anything, it was over ganking that Jin and getting what he could for Twitch to just come online. And if it wasn't for him being able to perform right there, we're talking at least 3 to 4 different kills and assists in the early game that Twitch would never gain, giving him that power spike to get into the point where he can delete anybody.
Could we see the end of game stats real quick? I need to check something before I give my answer.
Yep. I will just send in casters.
Okay.
So I think Zach going deathless is pretty insane.
Hold up.
Twitch
What the?
Yeah, he was
Twitch
4-0 and
was
7.
good. Twitch was good, but he still got outdamaged by Hong, which I mean
I
we all
was
expected.
actually
It's
just
Victor.
about to say that. I did not realize that Victor put out that much damage over everyone.
For those who can't see, Victor did 27,000. The second highest in the game was Lux with 16,000. So Hong
Even though
kind of just
Twitch-
dumpstered the
Even though
damage for
Twitch
that
looked
game.
like the monster, Twitch only had 15,000 damage.
Yeah, so I
Twitch
think the
was good at
consensus
securing
is probably the Sam S on the Zach here.
Yeah, I agree. I think Twitch was good at securing kills. Zach was good at setting them up. So I'm giving it to Samus here. I think the rat was really good, and it will probably be maybe getting banned.
Do you guys
in the rest
see
of the
that
series?
the band's changing to maybe the Zach and Twitch being more focused to not let through? Because honestly, I will say, yes, the Zach was a problem, and I do think he, as I said, he's definitely MVP worthy. But I will also say, Hong Baba looked very comfortable, and now seeing the damage charts, he looked more than comfortable staying on that Victor pick. That was the display of damage there. To think that Twitch was just securing all these kills while Victor was actually blowing up everyone's health bar. That almost makes me transition to screw the Seraphine, screw the Zaya, and screw the Jinx. Get Twitch, Zach, and Victor out of here.
Yeah, I mean, I think those probably should have banned from the beginning. I think instead of the Silas, I'd probably prefer to see the Fiddlesticks taken off the table, or maybe the Garen. So we could see like a Gangplank Garen Fiddlesticks ban. But I do know that both Malphite and Silas have kind of been Kathy's kryptonite throughout this season. They have struggled with sometimes getting picked off in unfortunate scenarios. So getting to see an adaptation in draft may or may not happen. Blake's Fiddlesticks was terrifying, but they were able to win even though they got both the Garen and Fiddle, so we might not see them taken off the table here.
Yeah, I'm not sure how comfortable Muffins is switching to jungle, so you might be able to just drop the Gangplank ban.
Could be true.
And replace it for the Fiddlesticks ban. I'm not sure how viable that would be, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, I think
But
also just leaving GP up for Blake, especially when they have red side, is just going to be a mistake, but you could hold it to second round and hope that they don't pick it.
I think it's kind of the same mistake as thinking if Silico was in a different lane on Teemo. I think that the biggest problem is that if it's a resource, because especially being down now, 0-1, you leave the Gangplank open, Blake would be out of his mind not to grab that right away.
Yeah.
This is a desperate time, and you're gonna want your strongest champions being played. And if Blake is very scary on Gangplank, I would not leave it open.
Yeah, I mean, I think my team has not been banning the Teemo versus Silico, and I think there is merit to just not banning the flex potential, because if you think that the other team's kind of like synergy and gameplay will be impacted enough by the lane swap that it's not worth it, that's a choice you can make. And they did leave up the other top laner's one trick this game, so leaving up a top lane one trick would not be the weirdest thing to have happen. Here are the featured champions going into this game. Is that literally just the lineup we just saw? There's no shots. So not only did Kathy's get
I think Hong switched from Ari to Victor.
yeah.
But
I think that's the only
same.
one. So not only did Kathy's get a very comfortable lineup, they got like basically their most comfortable lineup, which is kind of crazy. And then here are going to be some Blake stats. I think this player is someone definitely to watch because he could play top or jungle, and he does have quite a large champion pool, and a lot of the champions he does play, he's very, very good at and has drawn a lot of bans throughout his time on the server. And the other person to look at is Will. He's played a lot of AD carry, and here are some of the champions we might see from him. All of these do really well with Enchantresses, and Kathy is a very good Enchantress player, so it's going to be really hard to ban them out of a lane that isn't at least somewhat comfortable for them. And then the key matchup, in my opinion, is going to be Hongbaba versus Zach. The last game is the only game they've played, so the stats should only be for that, but their win-loss records look pretty similar, but Zach does have a slightly better KD overall. So just something to think about. And draft has already started. Karthus and GP are the bans from Kathy's Kittens so far, and the Soraka's taken off the table.
So they think that Soraka was the issue for them, and they are going to also follow up with the Twitch, not letting Will play that again. And they're thinking about taking away the Jhin. Even though Jhin was not a problem, maybe they thought something they want to play will make Jhin an issue.
Yeah,
So,
I don't know if I like the Jhin ban here. I'd prefer to see the Garen, Malphite, or Fiddlesticks taken off the table. All those champions are much stronger than the Jhin, I feel. This probably is just a BM hover after the "you spelled Zach wrong" comment. I think there is definitely merit to it, but the Jhin does get taken off the table. It's possible that Will is only comfortable playing the Twitch into Jhin and just wants it to not be an option anymore.
And there we see the answer also with Hong Baba's Victor that I called that should be taken away. So they leave the Zach available if Kathy's Kittens felt like Zach was that much of a help towards their win. They could go for a first pick on that one, but they're still going to be considering what they want to play here. And it looks like that is what they're hovering. They are discussing, and that is a locked-in Zach. So we will see Zach once again, which was their MVP for first game. Never died and just made a lot of plays and got the bot lane heavily into the game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
It should
sure
just be a
if they
Seraphine
left
pick
it
for
up.
Kathy's, right?
I'd honestly prefer to see the Lulu come out for Kathy. I am kind of surprised it didn't previous game, but Cog Lulu would be amazing here. This is probably going to be as Karma or as Nami slammed early. I was right. It is going to be the Ezreal Karma. So Cog Lulu would kind of just be disgusting here. One of the most comfortable champions for both Will and Kathy, but it looks like they're going to pick the Lux away, not wanting Zach to have that pick.
So I do think that the Ezreal Karma is a very beautiful play to now be able to transition away from Zach being able to camp them as hard, be able to get out much easier when Zach does try and make things a problem. Lux also, as we just said, being hovered and has now been locked in, so Lux is being taken away from Zach, not being able to be played here. And looks like Lulu is going to be considered to be the matchup to join Karma in the bot side. I don't know how I feel about those two being together. I don't think we really see the Karma Lulu against each other very often anywhere.
So I will say Lulu used to be an ultra comfort pick for Kathy. Because it's been banned against her so much, she actually hasn't been playing it as much. So she has been saying to me that she's no longer a Lulu support one trick. I believe that would go to the Soraka more than the Lulu. Against Layla, I am very curious to see if she will be able to regain some of that respect that her Lulu usually gets. Brand dropping is insane.
That's gonna be Brand versus Lux mid lane.
Brand versus Lux in the mid lane.
Brand is, I believe, Zach's second most comfortable champion. I was wondering if we'd get to see it. I don't know if he's played it in scrims already. I'm checking that as we speak. He's talked to me a lot about it. He has played it once. Did not go very well for him. He went 4-4-3, but that was just kind of a team gap. And not necessarily his fault. He was the best performing player on his team, so he could be hoping that this matchup will salvage it. They do force the Cog ban by locking in the Lulu without picking up the Cog, and this should just be an easy Malphite and Fiddlesticks ban coming out from KK.
Okay, so what you're looking at here, though, is now Clawseted Furries don't have a front line yet. This is going to be the final ban.
We could see Garen here too.
Did they type in chat with the ban one? Or it's okay, that's just locked in.
Yep.
So they are going to be going for the second ban, and yes, we are looking at the idea of the Garen, the Mundo, just these massive frontliners. I'm surprised that Muffins. We saw him on Mundo, and even you saw he did lose that game with an 11.0 KD. We were the ones to face that, and we could not kill it to save our lives. So that is looking like these frontliners here, a Wukong ban. I don't know who plays Wukong.
I believe it could be either of the remaining positions, and I think it just does quite well into Zach. So it is a good ban here, I think. I'm surprised to not see the Fiddlesticks or Garen banned away, but it could just be we played a very similar comp into these champions last time, and we didn't lose, so we're fine giving them over. Especially because they'll have a counter pick to one of them.
I think here we definitely go with a jungle lock-in and leave the top lane to counter, since we already know what Kathy's Kittens has, and that is exactly what they do. They go with the Graves. Not much for frontlining, though. There's not much beefiness to Closeted Furries here.
I'm predicting a Gangplank lock-in for
It's banned.
Closeted Furries.
Gangplank is banned. Gangplank
Yep.
was first.
I
banned.
want to see Kaisa here.
Oh, sure.
But it looks like we
Ooh,
might get the MF
MF.
instead. I believe the MF Lulu lane has been something Kathy's has played before. I know Will is a highly comfort Kaisa player, but is this Vayne
There's no
top
way.
blind?
There's no way.
That's so spicy.
Okay, that's got to be Hong flexing top lane, right? I don't see any other situation where that happens. He has been an ADC player for a very long time. Has been playing mid recently. He did tell me that there's a possibility we may see the Vayne top. You just give over the GP and then pick Vayne top into it. I asked him about it this morning. He goes, nah, actually it's a bad matchup. We're not doing that. But we are seeing the blind Vayne top anyway, which I think could make sense considering all of Mr. Muffin seems to play as tanks. They're just thinking we can counter his entire champ pool with a single lock-in. Just put one of our best players up against him and just gap him with a really cringe pick.
Like that Shen will be finalizing the lock-in for both teams. Then that'll be a Shen on the Closeted Furry side going up into the top lane to go against the Vayne. I don't really know how those matchups go, but assuming that Mr. Muffins has played against a Vayne top since he is a diamond top laner, he probably understands how this matchup should be.
The Vayne pick also makes the Lulu value go up immensely. If you can keep the Vayne alive, Free Fire onto the other team, like that's so insanely good for Kathy's Kittens. I think the Shen is also really good. If you can catch out the Lulu or the Vayne or someone with a taunt, then they'll just get blown up by the Graves and the Brand. So this game looks to be a really, really fun one. Should be pretty scrappy. Shen is looking to make plays around the map with his ult, and Vayne is looking to just monster scale, especially on Hongs, which is it's one of his most comfortable picks.
Agreed. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are just now paying attention, the submissions for your prediction are up, and we have 5 minutes to decide who we think is going to win this game. You guys can put your prediction points in there, earning some more points into the channel. As of right now, personally, I'll start off with my pick. For draft, I definitely think Closeted Furries has a pretty good lineup. They don't have a very front to back, I would say, but they definitely have the we catch someone, we kill someone kind of look. They have a very big counter engage, and that's what they kind of want into what Kathy's is running. I still think Kathy's does win this game. I think they have a very strong team overall right now. But I just like to say draft overall, Furries won. Kathy's probably will have some very good performance, hopefully.
Yep, okay. I am invited to the lobby, so it should be slightly faster than it was last time, but I think these two teams are not the fastest at lobbies. Talking to some members of Kathy's Kittens, I'm a big fan of Will Kaisa. Sad to not see it come out. The consensus I'm hearing is that the draft was just not right for it, which I regretfully do agree with. Will is not a huge fan of playing Misfortune. Hold on, I need to invite the other team because apparently no one on the other team will add Hongbaba as a friend on League of Legends. So, a bit of responsibility on me here, but I know Will isn't a huge fan of Misfortune, so it could be fun to see him on Comfort, but I think Kathy's is trying to do, no messing around this game. They just want to secure their playoff spot and then try and do their best to close out the game. As Will has said, he was literally begging to play Kaisa, but I do understand why the decision was not made to lock in that champion. While we are waiting to get in game, we should have some more assets to look at once I drag them into the right spot. And here we go. Here are the records on these champions. Keep in mind that I believe all of these games for Hong were on AD carry and not top lane. But I can check.
Do love seeing Mr. Muffins perform on different champions, being that he is newer, but he is also a very, very good player. Seeing him play on something, I love watching his matchups and how he's thinking and what he does, because seeing as how in his Mundo performance that we actually played against, he was a problem and we could never kill him, and that even his Garen there got massively fed and understood how to abuse people that overstep And I want to see how it does with the Shen into Vayne. Because like I said before, there's no way a top laner who is in Diamond has not seen Vayne top before and had opportunities to counter pick it. So I wonder if the Shen is more around playing for his team here, or if he's like, I've done Shen into Vayne before, it's a good matchup.
Yeah, I did double check. Hong has not actually played Vayne top in the server before, but I do trust his ability to outlane a melee champion. Blake's Graves has been a bit of an interesting pick for him. I believe the only time he lost on Graves was the Graves mid game in which his power went out. So maybe a little bit deceiving. His KD is probably better than if you factor that game in, considering I think he went 0-6-0 before the power went out. So that is a scary pick for him, and I believe he likes it a lot into the Zac matchup. It is interesting to see CC flex into the mid lane. It seems that Kathy's believes that Zac is not that much of a threat if you take the Lux away from him, so that they're willing to put their weaker solo laner into him. Not sure how that's going to play out. Zac has been known to kind of roll games because his rotations in macro are really, really good, which is something that we haven't seen as good of a performance out of Mr. Muffins. So having the better player matchup in the solo lane for Zac, I think, could give more value over to Clawseted Furries. Then looking at the champ matchups, I believe we have no data on anything except for the bot lane. Misfortune has a better win rate into the Ezreal, but a significantly worse performance. And then Lulu seems to have smashed Karma the only other time these two champions have faced each other. No data for the top lane matchup. And then all of these... Okay, so actually Zac did play into CC once before. Infinite KD, I believe this is one of the Misfortune mid games, and CC did not have a good time. 0.2 KD. So if Zac's able to stomp the lane this hard again, that could be pretty scary. And then same thing with the bot lane. Will and Kathy have a slightly worse win rate, but much better performance than Garrett and Layla. Very powerful lane combo for them.
Look at this voting process we have here. 63% of the points that were put in is going over to Kathy's Kittens, and 37% of the points goes into Clawseted. So the payouts are 1 to 1.58 and then 1 to 2.72. And it looks like even in the chat we have a Clawseted Furries fan with CLW, FTW, Mamoni Kenshin. I am excited for this game. I'm still predicting Kathy's Kittens overall will take this whole series. But
yeah, I'm sticking by my guns for the 2-0 KK prediction. It looks like all these champions are pretty even in the server. Graves has actually not been played this season. First time for him. And then Lulu actually is a standout champion this season, 7-2. Whereas everything else is just pretty even. So I'm excited to see it play. It looks like the only time Vayne was played this season was a bit unfortunate, so we'll see if Teddy will be able to turn that one around. I do have some faith in him in that sense.
No, don't say anything.
I don't have anything to say.
Good.
Oh, yeah, I gaffed you. Sorry, Fowler.
Wait, what?
The Vayne was me when I played bot lane for Silico.
Oh.
I
forgot about that. I kind of blocked that out from my memory.
Yeah, same. It was a very it's a good reason on why I don't play bot lane anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I was able to just slam the Aphelios in there. Vayne cannot do anything into that champion, so at least Hong will have a favorable matchup this time Vayne is being played. I honestly do not fault you for how that game went. I think that lane kind of resolved itself in draft and not because of your actual performance. That game.
Oh, don't worry, I'm
coming
coming for you when I'm back in mid lane. Don't you worry.
All right.
You got playoffs to deal with me still.
I mean, we have Joel. Like, I'm not scared. I have faith in my mid laner. All right. We should be getting the game not in too much longer. Unfortunately for Kathy's Kittens, they're not on as much comfort here, but the champion that Closeted Furries AD carry seemed adamant that they ban is still up, so Sam is going to be able to repeat the Zach game. Could be pretty big for him. And I believe Closeted Furries has completely swapped out their champions. Garrett Layla on their kind of signature at this point, Ezreal Carmelane, is pretty exciting to me. Let's see if that comfort kind of pays off for them and gets them a win and takes this series to 3 games.
I'm curious which one between these two teams you guys think is like scarier to play against.
Oh, Kathy's for sure, in my opinion. Just because
Yeah.
Hong and Sam, I know they have played on a college esports team that did fairly well together, so obviously they have a lot of synergy, and they're like just quite good players. I think there are more clearly exploitable weaknesses on Kathy's Kittens side, but I will say the same thing about Blake on Furries. He is insanely hit or miss, and if Blake rolls, the 20 on the D20, you have no chance of winning the game because he's just going to 1v9 you, but I think something also to note is what I've heard about the comms of these two teams. Closeted Furries seems to be kind of embedded in chaos, whereas Kathy's has been getting more and more synergistic as the season goes on.
I love a comeback story.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a sentiment that is held pretty widely across the server. Like, Blake's teams usually seem like they're pretty chaotic. We're going to lock in these LS sanctioned picks, and it's going to either work out or it's not.
And
then
here we go. Ladies and gentlemen,
game
we're
is starting.
on the rift. What is this? Hey, I play a lot of MF and Scrims. Please ban it. I'm so bored of this champ. You got it, dude. Free me. Don't ban it. Haha, he's trolling.
That's pretty funny. I like the own team self-sabotage, forcing your player to play a champion he doesn't like simply because it's good. And I will also say that according to like the LS sanctioned picks, seems like even though Blake's sign-up teams have been sticking to that more closely recently, I think Blake probably had an aneurysm when the brand was locked in. So I think in this series and the previous series, I feel like the LS picks have kind of come down in priority, at least on Closeted Furries as a team, even if not in Blake's head. So pretty interesting to see.
What goes on in Blake's head is a mystery.
CC must have auto-bought whatever shows up because they have a Spell Thief's Edge in mid lane.
Ooh, the poke.
Yeah, I mean, that is just like kind of unfortunate. Let's hope someone notices at some point. Ezreal does have 24 tier stacks already.
Why is there a spell thief in mid lane?
I think he just opened up the item shop and right-clicked and didn't think about it. Unless we're going to see some like roaming like Janna top shenanigans, but I doubt it was intentional.
It's very confusing.
I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt and say it's like a little Korean strat that we haven't seen.
I mean, Lorlo part 2, right? Like,
it's an early level 2 for the brand, getting some damage in. Ooh, gets the stun off. Drops the Lux pretty low. Looks like so far, red side does have advantage in the mid and the bot side, getting these pokes in here when they can. Oh
yeah,
my,
Zach's just gonna
ignite. The barrier is not gonna save him from this, I don't believe.
Yeah,
that's first blood over to the brand.
Yeah, and this is exactly what I was worried about. CC's been playing really well top lane this season, but I honestly do not think the level of comfort or skill is the same in the mid lane. So swapping Hongbaba to the top lane is gambling that Hong will basically be able to 1v9 the game, because I don't think you're doing it to help your mid matchup. And I think it puts CC in a position of not very much comfort, which is not something you necessarily want to do in a high-pressure situation like this, especially into a mid laner as good as Zach. I don't know, Zach has been one of the people I've been looking at for like first team all scrims. I think he is one of the best mid laners we've seen, at least in team performance so far. So flexing someone who isn't
you're
comfortable...
literally casting with mid and beats. It's in his name.
There's some trades coming back and forth here. Blue team has lost a little bit of their health bars compared to red team, but not going to matter too much.
Yeah, Hong is doing a really good job of zoning Muffins off the wave, has a huge CS advantage, and should be able to kite out if Blake does come for a play. But yeah, as I was saying earlier, I think flexing someone into a very good mid laner who doesn't have a lot of comfort in the lane is a very risky play, so Kathy's is making a huge gamble here. Although Sam should be able to feed his bot side even more this game.
Looks like the damage is getting pretty low. The Karma is going to survive until Misfortune flashes forward, gets the kill on that. Ezreal tries to clean up the Misfortune for taking an extra tower shot there, but it's not going to matter.
Getting a little bit of deja vu here. Strong side top for Clawseted Furry, strong side bot for Kathy's Kittens.
Like Lux is also getting burned back down again, getting very, very low. Looks like they are still going for the gank, and that is a kill right over to Graves. That Vayne's health bar dropped so quickly. Looks
Yeah,
like
huge
Ezreal's
flash
also
taunt from Mr. Muffins there. Chris is trying to stay alive, but it's going to be tough. Though I believe the W is going to keep her up.
Oh, and that is a dead Ezreal coming in to just ward and shoot and stop the backs, and that is another hat tip.
Yeah, I think some mental is getting into play here. Garrett seemed pretty upset after the last game. The all chat message after Will made the comment about Twitch seemed a bit salty, in my opinion, so I wonder if that's what drove him to stay there in a clearly risky scenario that ended up in him losing his life.
Lux is already getting reduced farm because of the support item, so I'm hoping that will start getting some value or be sold soon. Otherwise, you're kind of neutering your entire mid game.
Yeah, I'm also confused why CC is staying in this wave so long. Obviously, Brand doesn't have TP, but you want to just look to get a shove off real quick here and then probably back to get a different item. At the very least, because you could argue that staying for CS here is going to give you more gold, but as you can see, Lux is getting nothing from these minions. And misses the cannon minion, which is the only one that would have given a significant amount of gold, so...
-1 in
Just
all
pretty
chat,
rough.
-1.
That's what in all chats. Yeah, we are seeing the problem with accidentally starting the wrong item here. Hoping to
And
see,
it's not even getting sold.
Someone needs to say something.
Oh my god, that's absurd.
It's so tragic.
Are they playing to just have this Lux gain us extra vision or what?
Yeah, I don't know.
Are you typing to someone?
I shouldn't.
No, you should. That's like tragic that nobody noticed.
I mean, I
Zach
just want to
is
see the
getting
results.
He's going to fight. He's going to go fight in the jungle side, and it looks like Zach does drop down. Shen ultimate coming down right now. Graves is still putting in damage. Shen gets a taunt on the Vayne. That is a dead Vayne. Looks like Zach is going to have to now try and escape, but he eased the wrong way and now has to walk. Shen's going to have taunt back up in a couple seconds here, and Brand's going to poke in some fire damage, and it looks like that burn should kill, and Frostbeat gets another one over Sam there.
Yeah, not only is the mid lane going kind of tragically for Kathy's, Hong is also just losing. So I really don't know if this is the move. You flexed a kind of off-meta Sinner pick, and you put someone in a position of not that much comfort. So I'm just kind of struggling to understand why Kathy's would make this flex, especially if they're not going to play for like strong side top to get Hong Baba super ahead on this pick.
Look, some damage coming down. Ezreal just escapes out of there with getting his E off before he gets pulled.
Yeah, we are seeing some roaming out of the Lux. This could be why the item was locked in. Does not get any CC there. Yeah, for competitive integrity purposes, I will not type at them and ask about the spell thieves. I'll simply see how long it stays in the inventory and ask after the game. But I really want to know.
Like, there's no shot. Either one of Sam or Hong have not noticed there, right?
I
think?
Honestly, no, we'll just move on. Let's move on, okay? Let's move on. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to.
Dragon being started up here by Kathy's Kittens.
Thank you. Looks like the red team is actually moving over to look for something here. Lux also is starting to move over. It's not going to matter so far, though, because the Lulu is dead. Misfortune pops the ult, because that's all she got left. Oh, and she does secure the dragon with it. And Ooh, Graves just survived stepping outside of that Lux ultimate, not knowing if he would have even died in the first place. No, stop. I was going to say something about the item, but I got to catch myself.
I mean, he was on 50 HP. The base damage would have killed.
I don't know. I don't know.
So 2 kills go over to Clawseted Furries, but the drag does go over to Cap.
Yes, I'm happy that the drag at least gets transferred over, and they do get something out of that instead of costing everything for it.
They do want to start stacking drags as early as possible to delay the game as much as they can. They are a scaling team again, but not sure how much it'll help them this time with the deficit being as big as it is.
Yeah, I mean, there is comfort on the bot lane, and Hong is playing an 80 carry champion, so that should also help them with the Zac. So it could just be like out macro and then just like outskill in the team fights because you know what you're doing on your champions, but I don't know. There are just some like red flags that are hitting here.
There's another reset by the Lux, and I'm not seeing that Spell Thief's being sold yet.
I mean, surely at this point it's intentional, right? It's just a strategy
Yeah,
we don't
it has to-
comprehend, you know.
Yep, this is definitely some LPL stuff going on here. They've adapted to something that Worlds is doing that I did not see yet.
Well, I gotta tap out and check Worlds real quick.
That's the only assumption we can draw here. Only conclusion we can draw here. I think I might actually go insane.
That's okay. That's okay.
Valor, both of our teams have lost. And a 3-0 or 0-3 on the day. A bit tragic.
Well, that's how it always starts, remember?
True.
We
Second
make
week.
them think that we're not good, and then we do some stuff. Well, I'm not going to see the first match. I'm going to see the end. Ooh, looks like a lot of damage coming out here. It looks like the Ezreal and Karma are also into this fight. Lulu pops the ultimate to try and keep them alive a little bit longer. MF is low on mana, so she doesn't have much to get her ultimate off. Looks like they're just going to clear vision and walk away from this one, getting the trade, forcing everyone to reset. Meanwhile, Shen is still just hanging out, getting as much farm as he can, which actually, to be only down 13 CS, well, probably after this wave. No,
Yeah,
still about
I mean,
13 CS.
I don't want to say the Vayne counterpick is getting no value, but it kind of is.
No, it's definitely, as of right now, it looks like the Vayne pick probably isn't going to substantially do anything. Looks like Shen's getting a little bit closer, but Shen can once again, even if he doesn't get the taunt off, he can put up his W and dodge a lot of Vayne's auto attacks.
Yep.
Looks like Zac's coming in. Ezreal's going to E right out of there. Karma's going to put the slow on Zac so she can walk away as well. Nothing for
To
nothing.
be fair to the Shen pick, I don't think it's meant to counter the Vayne. It's just, like, not in lane at least, but if you can taunt the Vayne in team fights, she'll just die. So I think it's more of a hold Shen ult and taunt the Vayne kind of deal, and not a I'm going to
Damage
win
coming
this
out here,
one.
and the bullet time is going to end Ezreal right there. Even though Graves was here to try and make something happen for them. Looks like Graves is also dropping low. We're going to switch over to top lane real quick to see what's going on down here, but Graves is walking away. Lux is also out of mana and very low. Brand could try and find something. Brand's not going to hit her just yet because he is rooted.
Draws tower
Yes,
aggro is just going to die for that,
Oh.
I believe.
Looks like he is. Yeah, the minions. The
What is
Shen ult,
happening? Okay,
and he
Brand is
still
able to pick
walks
up the kill.
forward.
That Sean ult was for nothing, though.
Maybe that
Well, it secures the kill, doesn't it?
But did
No,
that
he
help?
was
Yeah,
he
did-
died to one tower shot there either way.
I was about to say, well, no, but did Brand hit anything on that last second he was alive on Lux or no?
No.
Okay, so yeah, it didn't
No,
matter.
I was thinking maybe he dies to minions, and
Yeah, I think
without
he
the
was
Shen
going
ult,
for
he
the-
doesn't get in range. But
I think he was going for the aim of not letting Zac secure the kill because he
Potentially.
didn't want Zac getting the gold. So
I don't know. Interesting
I
situation.
don't know.
very
Either way, definitely a funny situation, and the game has been pretty scrappy so far, so I'm definitely here for it.
CC has sent an like a apostrophe in Gen chat. I don't know if this has anything to do with the item or if it's just like a weird tab out thing. It is funny if it is unrelated, and it is quite funny if it is related too.
game is slowing down here a little. No,
Yep. For what it's worth, CC is 360
vision
gold in
control
on the
around it.
support quest.
Ooh, I think I knocked out there. We're back though.
Kind of waiting for the misfortune of Lulu to show up, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen because they did just reset.
Yep, the next dragon is spawned. Dragon Lead is currently in Kathy's favor, and Zach has really good potential to steal, even if the fight isn't initially in their favor. And Zach should be able to just kill Zach here. I won't tell you which one I'm referring to, but it's like a non-committal prediction. I can just say Zach's going to kill Zach, and that means one of them's going to win the fight. It actually did play out the way I meant it, but Kathy's in a really tough spot here. Unless Will's able to get enough priority to save Kathy, which could happen. Shenal is not yet available, but Will's going pretty low. Lulu should keep him alive, but he's ultimately just going to fall to Blake.
I think this game, Lulu might have seen a little bit more value from an exhaust than an ignite. I don't think the exhaust would make that big of a difference, and the exhaust might have made a difference there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also not one to really want to take exhaust into this team just looking at them, because you're not really scared of Ezreal or Karma running you down that much. It just so happens to be that the way the game has played out so far, it could have been more advantageous.
That's fair. I'm just thinking for a Graves especially, you just kind of want to get in your face, and you would be in range to put that exhaust out.
Sam does have vision on this from the control ward. Should be able to secure a steal here, but it looks like they're not going to go for it. And CC's caught out in a pretty bad position here. It seems like Kathy was willing to just give over a dragon because they already had the lead.
Gold lead has shrunk down to about 1,000. I think it was at one point up to about 2,000, so it seems like Kathy's was able to mitigate some of that early damage just by farming. That'll just be a kill.
Showed up to try and finish off the brand. Looks like Shen is now ulting in to save the brand's life.
Leandres gets
Luck
it.
still dies. To the
Does Leandres proc off of Comet?
No, but it procs off of brand passive.
I see.
So the brand passive ended a bit before the death there, but it was able to keep proccing Leandres.
Got it. Makes sense then. He might just
Sam
die
has
here
a
to
flash
lose that
available,
card,
so should be able to just burn that and get this kill. Or just use it to get out. Blake should just be able to pick this one up. Although Hong is here to potentially cover. Oh, the Condemn comes in huge, but the ultimate collateral damage is able to pick it up. Will goes for so much, but unfortunately the ult angle is not correct.
But it still gets cleaned up by Hong Baba. Ezreal now coming in trying to get it, but MF does flash away. And Baba's now putting some more damage on the Ezreal for stepping forward, saying, hey, you can't be here. And he does have flash, and he does finish it off, but he has to deal with the Graves now. Doesn't get the condemn there, gets just a pushback, and does not matter. Graves will get the comeback on that one, and now being 5-0-2 into this matchup for the jungler. Looks like Mr. Muffins has now joined into the fray, using TP to come in to try and stop this turret from going down. Looks like Lux and Lulu will just kind of push this out a little bit more.
Yeah, leaking some DMs for the culture. W2F, I just played an entire game of Overwatch 2, and the Spell Thieves is still in the inventory.
You're lying. Oh, no.
At least the first half of the support item quest has been completed. If this is like a more supportive pick, I could see it at this point. The CS deficit is pretty huge, so I believe like the gold loss is not going to even be there anymore. Yeah, so it's back to full gold being gained. Sam is dropping an engage here, but is not able to hit anything.
-1 once again, unfortunately.
Yeah. And I think there is merit to it if you're just going to go something similar to like the Janna top and just kind of roam around the map and contribute to your team in that way and not necessarily trying to hog as much as the farm, because especially with double 80 carry and a resource heavy Zac on your team, in terms of player style, not in terms of champ style, a lot of those resources are going to get gobbled up before you can even approach them. So you kind of have double 80 carry Zac with 2 supports as your composition. So it could be intentional and we've just been flaming for nothing, in which case I'd kind of feel bad, but It looks
don't.
troll regardless, so I don't really care that much.
I don't.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair to them, they're only like 100 down, so obviously there's something that we missed, but...
Yeah, I mean, I think funneling two very competent AD carry players is not the worst thing you can do. Garrett just arcane shifted in place to farm, and is almost punished for it, but it seems like it should just be fine.
I think he also did that in the series against us yesterday, which
He
is...
does it quite frequently. Zach has complained to me about it. That's a high value brand ultimate.
That might just kill Kathy? No, I think she gets out.
Oh,
Yeah. I believe Cameron would
That's
not
a
pan
buck
away.
hunter right there.
Vayne is actually going into Mr. Muffins here. Mr. Muffins went a little too far trying to get that wave to crash, and Vayne does not pop Ghost to chase him down. Looks like she is going to try and get a little bit closer. She does see the Graves is there as well. She's just going to let him go. Beautiful play by Vayne up there, though, to force the Shen to waste flash now so he cannot flash taunt later. And MF needs to be very careful. She can get bursted very easily. She does die. Do the brand.
Yeah, I mean, Zach's brand is pretty good. Like, I don't know what else to say. That champion is very annoying to play against, and not enough people play it for the majority of players to be comfortable playing into it. So Zach is doing a lot of work here for his team. Has the most kills in the game. Definitely someone to be afraid of. The next drag is spawning in about 15 seconds. So we could see if
Brand is back in here.
This is an Infernal Dragon, ladies and gentlemen. So Infernal Soul is a very contested dragon to fight for. The amount of damage boost you get, both teams can use. Hongbaba's a little bit forward there, but does get out without getting stunned or locked up in any way. They're going to try and clear this mid wave out because they do have the Rift Herald ready. Also, Shen is able to freely split push because his ultimate says he can. Looks like they're going to try and stop Shelly from getting too much more damage on these turrets here, but it's not going to matter so much. They're going to let that go down. That gets the team off of Dragon, and we can still prepare for the fight.
Yeah,
MF
Shen's
is
still getting a
down in the
lot
bottom.
of value in the side lane, and Shirelius was burned to help in the rotation. Looks like Shen's going into the bush to probably back before either ulting or TPing in, but Vayne's going top to try and cover. It might just be a conceded Drake from Kathy's, but Hong is able to save the tower by doing so. Sam is probably just going to go for a steal. They have a lot of vision in the pit, and there are still stacks on Lux's vision item, so should be able to do something. Sam pops a blast cone in place, doesn't go over the wall. Not the worst thing to do because he has the slingshot anyway, but he might be going in too early if he goes now. Never mind, he goes for it and steals the Drake.
That's it.
Blake gets chunked, Shen ultimate saving him. And it looks like there's just going to be a disengage there.
That was a beautiful pick by Zach there after messing up the blast cone. Maybe it was actually a good thing that that happened, because he was able to go in, get the dragon, and walk away with his life.
Yeah, to me it looked like the blast cone thing was unintentional. I would have assumed he probably would have Mia pinged himself if it wasn't. Maybe he's just having a little fun. If he did hit the blast cone, he probably would have just instantly died. So I think that's just like a net win for him overall.
Oh, I agree 100%.
Picking up that dragon is really good for them, though.
Yeah, I mean, their team is going to be terrifying later on in the game. Any sort of like double support team comp feeding carries that are as strong as the Vayne Misfortune is pretty good.
Is Teddy going for the Riftmaker build?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. I'm interested to actually see it built. I haven't seen it in the actual game yet.
I've heard it's quite good. But I also think you're not supposed to buy the Riftmaker until last item.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's probably going to go Riftmaker and then what, like Panic?
I think so. I think you just go full sustain.
Okay.
No, it's Titanic, Hydra, and Runans. Because you go for the full AoE drain tank build.
Look at this.
Kathy
now.
flashed to get to CC, but CC runs away. The effort there was huge to try and be like goat support to save your carry, but clearly CC was not aware of what was happening. Hong should be able to just pick up this kill, but walks into tower range and dies.
Looks like it's also going to be Brand dying, though. The amount of fights happening now are just insane. And I don't want to take away from this match real quick, but I do have to give you guys a quick update, because SKT is playing against Edward Gaming right now. And Baker is massively fed on Akali. But
Oh, Lord, my pick'ems. Alright, Blake is going down. Shen ult to save him. And the collateral damage takes him out of range. Will is getting quite low. Instead, he gets Shen taunted and should just get lit up here, but is able to flash out of a lot of damage. But does end up falling.
Will buy enough time for his team to get out there.
Looking over here to see the Lux trying to get this wave clear in so they can't crash this turret, which is good to stop them from going in for there. Getting the engage going, make sure they're trying to minimize the amount of gold they get off of this. Even though the kills are 16-9, ladies and gentlemen, we still have a very close game. It is 39.4 to 40.3. Still within the 1,000 grasp area. Right now, roughly 900 as each team's ticking up in gold. So game is super close, and as you're seeing with some of these fights going back and forth in both ways, but we still do have a Graves who has not died, and a Shen who has not died. Zach is going in, getting behind the Brand there. Brand is trying to get the burst in before he dies, which he will succeed on doing, taking Lux out of the fight and surviving.
Bane's here has flash, no ghost.
Looks like Bane does pop the ultimate, was kind of rolling around trying to find an opening to hit somebody, but cannot get it, so it's just going to wave clear and back right off. That is a 1-for-0 trade. Still keeping the gold lead around 1.2 roughly for the red team on Clawseted Furries.
Yeah, I mean, Blake and Mr. Muffins are absolutely terrifying here. Blake has picked up the Eclipse and the Umbral Glaive, getting a lot of vision denial. Gets extra value out of it with the higher amount of wards placed down by the enemy team, but the support item is sold, which leads me to believe it wasn't intentional. I feel like at this point you just keep it. Oh, no. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think at that point in the game, it was just better to keep it on the Lux and just feed more resources into the other players. But if they do end up losing this game, that might be something tragic to kind of look at. But I don't want to count him out of it yet. Obviously, Teddy does not have the greatest scoreline this game, 2-4-0, but he does have 200 CS, which puts him more than 10 above any other player on the enemy team. But his positioning here has not been spectacular.
Looks like he knows he was actually probably going to get traded on, so he's trying to run around with his life, but he is revealed, gets the flash out, but also just dies to the burn.
Yeah, I mean, he flashed while he had double dots applied to him. It was just not the greatest play of all time.
Which means the Drake is opened for the Furry team to come and take it, and they do have some vision on it. They're trying to cancel the vision and scare them off a little bit, but Graves also has abandoned the Dragon. The Dragon gets too low and Graves is not there for it. Zach gets the free smite off. It looks like it's going to become a smite fight probably. Never mind, they are turning onto the Zach. Get him out of here before the smite fight has to happen. He does have passive up and available, so he will be trying to come back, but it does not matter. He is deleted. Misfortune coming through with the ultimate. Ezreal scaring the Dragon. Misfortune's just getting beaten up in there. Shen's just standing right on top of her saying, we don't care. They're trying to walk away. Lux throws the ultimate, does miss it. Ezreal now getting some poke in here. The fight is continuing there, going for the chase down. Double top from the Shen. Ezreal and Shen to clean up the rest of that fight.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty much just an ace for Clawseted Furries. Teddy fell at the beginning of the fight, but I don't know. There were a couple things that could have gone slightly differently and that could have flipped in Kathy's favor, but Clawseted just looks so much more competent in fighting that. They were just much more coordinated, no weird positioning plays or anything.
This kind of just feels like a this kind of just feels like a Teddy limit testing game, and then he's gonna pick it back up in game 3. Like, I don't think I've ever seen him get caught out this much. It might just be him not being used to playing top, but
yeah, I mean, I think
I
locking
think
in
his
Vayne
mindset-
top just kind of like melts your brain a little bit. So
that's
I think his
definitely a
mindset
possibility.
is a straight up Valor mindset right now. I feel like I'm in his shoes right now, and this is the I need to 1v9, so stepping forward. It's just kind of the habits we have. He knows he's pretty much the one champion that's going to be super relevant in any of these fights if he gets in the right position at the right time. And even with these mistakes and deaths, it just takes one fight. One fight, and this Vayne could make this game completely come back the other way.
yeah, I mean, he's been sitting on these components of the Riftmaker for a really long time, but still doesn't have it. Actually, he just bought it as I went to say something, so kind of a shoe in the mouth moment there. We'll see if that's enough to power spike him. to a favorable position here, though.
Shorelia's forced on the Lulu there just to survive.
She is able to walk out at full health, though, so I don't think it's that bad. I think if you have to burn the Shorelias and you still get chunked, it's pretty bad, but getting to keep your health bar topped off for that is not super.
Looks like Ezreal is going to be putting a lot of damage in there, but it's not going to matter so much. Got a lot of shields. They're going to kind of protect the Misfortune, but still a little
Closeted
bit
Furries is
so
posturing pretty aggressively here. They might be looking to grab a pick and then rotate the Baron.
That would be a good play for both teams at this point. We are 30 minutes into the game almost, and so seeing one team try and go for a pick and try and make a play here, especially with the amount of vision denial they put in with this Graves.
I think they should be able to just take the Baron here. Zac is on the bottom side of the map, and CZ's getting caught out a little bit here. Near side, it makes it hard to hit any skill shots, and Will is present, but he's so low. If Zac's able to get a Brand ultimate off, flashes, but isn't able to get the ult off, but now he's getting burned, but the Shen ulti should keep him alive for a little bit. It does end up falling in trade for the Misfortune.
Misfortune is still alive right now. Holy crap.
Ezreal ult just barely goes wide. Wow, that was so close.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the Misfortune was for sure dead, but it does end up that the Lux falls, so it's still a 1-for-1, but the Brand taken off the map is so much more value for Cathy's, so I don't expect to see a Baron started here. Lulu ult is back up in 43 seconds, so that's an insanely low cooldown.
What we're dealing with right here is now they're going to be trying to just kind of get some wave management in. Everybody's going to get some resets in, get the vision going, kind of thing going around. Looks like Vayne is going to walk in, see that Graves is trying to back. That has to now just kind of walk away. Be very careful. Get as much vision control as she can in while she's still here, and the rest of the team is reset and moved on.
Yeah, I mean, despite the fact that a Riftmaker build on Vayne is pretty good, or so I've heard, notable that Vayne has 0 AP scaling, so the fact that Teddy was sitting on a Blasting Wand and Amptome was basically just useless. Normally buying the Blasting Wand early when itemizing Riftmaker isn't bad, because the amount of flat AP you get is good, but for Vayne it does quite literally nothing. So I think maybe not super used to the champion and the build. You do want to get the Leeching Leer as fast as possible, but ideally you just stay on the map until you have enough to afford the entire Riftmaker, because adding those extra items in your inventory does literally nothing for you.
Yeah, it seems like he might be just trying out the build. Felt like it was a pretty good buy this game and isn't super used to the build. I think he's a Vayne enthusiast, so I'm not sure. He might have also been playing it in Earth and isn't super used to playing it in normal and expected to just complete the item a lot faster.
Yeah.
So we're going to be getting some trades over here, and they are kind of just trying to set each other up. The Ezreal ult goes wide once again, but they are just
Brand
kind
is on a
of fighting
flank.
for this dragon. Looks like Shen is getting his free split push top, which he does like. That is a locked up over there. Looks like he's trying to still get out of there, getting the slow. Brand is now getting the one being locked up, turning him around, but he's still putting in the damage. Shen all comes in, keeping the Brand alive a little bit longer, but it's not going to matter. Lux finally gets the snipe in there that we so love. Looks like the damage is coming back over while Vayne is on the back line. This is the exact fight she wanted. She was ignored,
Cathy's on top
she
of the Vayne.
takes him down.
That movement speed with the Lulu is just so unfair.
Sadly, we did not even get to watch half of that. We were paying attention to the fight that was happening right in front of us, but Vayne snuck through and got to the back line, and Shen tried to save the Brand.
And the only person that Closeted Furries managed to kill was the Misfortune. The Let's survive on probably about 100 health. That has to be heartbreaking for Blake and Closeted Furries there.
Yeah, they might be able to transition onto the Baron here, but it'd be extremely risky. But just a question of, can the Vayne even be contested at this point? Sitting on another 2.6 thousand gold. So that next step back is going to be the completed Titanic Hydra and likely some more attack speed to look for the Runans, or at least the Seal.
That's insane.
Yeah,
The amount of pressure Vayne is putting in here, getting this game just back into their favor. The gold
Yeah, they
lead
need to be
still.
careful here. They all need to be careful here. The Graves is
Oh,
going to
that's a
be.
knock up on the Vayne. Got to be careful. There is a Shen behind, and there's a whole team coming. Vayne needs to be careful of that, but Zac gets the knock up. Keep getting the Vayne right in there. Vayne flashes backwards. Graves on top of her. Vayne's trying to put in the damage, dodging everything.
Holy
and just pouring in
shit.
damage. My God, this Vayne is going to run them down. Vayne just keeps.
That might just be the game. Oh my god.
Opening up the game to push into the mid lane there, transitioning to end this series. 2-0. They're hoping for it. Dreams are what... I cannot believe Kathy's goes from being bottom seeded to now fighting, being up 1-0, and potentially ending a 2-0 against Clawseted here. This is insane, the amount of game. And Hong Baba to carry out this game, like I said, the right time pays off. The right setup pays off. The right fight pays off. Now they're putting into the damage into the turrets here. Ezreal's trying to do what he can to clear this wave and put in some damage to scare him off. Hong Baba now goes forward, gets the rolling.
They still have 10 seconds. This is just going to be the game. Oh my god.
Damage into the Nexus. The Nexus is dropping. And Hong Baba and Kathy's Kittens have won 2-0 and are going to playoffs.
That was absolutely insane. Just, I don't have words.
My god.
Yeah, I mean, Riftmaker Vayne, I guess, like...
Bennett, I guess. I don't know. Broken.
The Blasting Wand and Amptome, completely useless. So I think what we weren't thinking about was the fact that Vayne was basically sitting on 2,000 gold for a large stretch of that game. And once the Riftmaker finally got completed, it was basically just game over. So we do see those items come down, and Hong is able to just end the game. Valor, I believe you would probably want to give the MVP to Hong that game.
I'm giving it to Kathy, I think.
100%.
See, Valor.
No bias.
Valor is like a just like
not
me
biased.
for real kind of voter, right? So he's gonna vote for the person who plays the way he will.
No, hold on. I'm going for the series here. I'm going for Hong. The damage from the Victor game 1, and then the massive,
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
team fights in the end there. That was, what, 2 perfect team fights. That last team fight was literally Vayne dodging everything. She sidestepped everything. Like, she should have been dead to rights right there, and just sidestepped everything. That was Hong.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That's definitely fair. I think Kathy flashing to try to save a Lux and just keeping the Vayne topped up and healthy for those fights definitely made a difference, but I think it's also definitely fair to give it to Hong.
Can I also please just throw over a MVP over to Clawseted? I have to definitely say Muffins in both games, losing, still performs immensely well. Immensely well.
Yeah, I mean, same with Blake. Blake tried his best, but obviously if you're going around the map more, you're going to be participating in more losing fights. So his scoreline was not quite as untouchable as Mr. Muffins, but a good effort.
Right, so we do have to decide our series MVP though for overall.
It's got to be Hong, right? We were close
Yeah,
to
we can
choosing
give
it
it to
to him
Hong.
for the first game, and it's him for the second. So
Well, when Hong is ready, I wanna.
yeah. I'm gonna try and get him in here. Here, I'll pull up his player highlight.
Real quick, as we're going over this, guys, we also want to go over real quick. That was the playoff game for a team that was seeded for 5th and pretty much tied with 6th throughout most of this season, with only roughly 1 win throughout most of this season. And in the last, I think it was 3 games they've had to play, the last 3 series they've had to play, they 3-0 the whole thing and come back to make playoffs. That is insane. From bottom to in playoffs. Just looks beautiful. Hong, hello.
Hong, are you a cam enjoyer? Are we gonna get to see the interview?
Face? No.
No.
Some face photos, no?
Cringe.
All right.
Let's go.
How do you feel?
Oh.
I should vote. Oh, how do I feel? I mean, obviously, I told you, we're a scaling team. We're obviously the best team. Why is anybody surprised that we won?
The ego coming out from Hong here.
I like it. Honestly, those last fights, he deserves that ego. That last fight specifically, he dodged so many skill shots. It was so beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, the
My mouse
Kaisa
has
game
been-
in the previous series as well was pretty insane, so good streak.
My mouse has been sticky, and then I cleaned it midway through the game, and then it felt way better. I don't know why.
All right, so going into this, what was your guys' decision to take the Vayne top here?
Oh, I just wanted to play Vayne top. My friend told me, Teddy, have you tried the Riftmaker Vayne build? I tried today, 3 games, but I never got to complete the Riftmaker. I always won with 2 items. And so finally I got to complete the Riftmaker, and it's so broken. You just don't die. I just face tank the graves and just killed him. It's actually crazy.
Interesting. How are you guys feeling coming into this whole series overall? I mean, you guys had a very strong game one. Your damage was very high, but the Zach definitely put a lot of pressure on getting that Twitch into the game and getting you guys out scaling by a massive amount. Were you guys pretty nervous coming in here, or knowing that it was playing for the last slot in playoffs, or were you confident you guys were just going to take this?
No, I don't think so. I think we knew we were the better team. Like, I'm confident in my team, especially since they didn't ban any of our comfort champions game one. So kind of a free game one for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what I was thinking when I saw the draft. Obviously, game 2 is a bit different. Some of those picks got banned away. What 3 of those champions were you expecting to get banned going into game 2?
I think we definitely expected a Twitch ban, definitely expected Soraka, and then I expected Zach over Victor. I'm glad they banned Victor because that meant I could play top. Sam was like, if Victor's open, you have to play Victor, but if he's banned, you can play top. So I was like, okay, please ban Victor. And they did.
Yeah, I mean,
what was the thinking with the stealthy?
Don't go into this.
No, we have to go into this.
Yeah.
Okay,
at what point did you guys notice? Because clearly it wasn't intentional if he sold it.
Okay, none of us noticed, and then Chris, I think I don't remember, 20 minutes in or something, was like, oh wait, I have a spell thieves. It just told me to buy the first thing, and I just bought it.
See,
and then he was like, oh, that's why I didn't do damage.
We also thought he would realize when he stayed for an extra 3 waves and got 4 gold from each of the minions.
Yeah, we were watching all those minions just dying for nothing, no gold value out of it, and he was just staying with no health, and we were like, what's going on here? But
it's a learning experience. He now knows that when you get 4 gold from a CS, you have a support item.
Truly. I mean, your team has some itemization jokes. Unfortunately, CC has now lumped himself in to that bit. So there's now 36-minute tier and 24-minute non-completed support item. So a bit tragic. I thought we were seeing some sort of Lorlo type strategy, especially with those early roams down to the bot lane. But as soon as it got sold, I was like, this is just not intentional. Unfortunately, a bit of some troll behavior. But again, congratulations to you for managing to clutch out those last few games and secure the playoff spot. I know there was some playoff banter going on at the beginning of the season, every team should be allowed to make playoffs. I don't want to try in the regular season, but I think we can all appreciate the drama that comes with not all teams being included in playoffs. So these last games were very intense. The last weeks were pretty exciting. I think there's a lot of excitement over what possibilities are going to allow these teams to make playoffs, which wouldn't have been generated otherwise. So I'm excited to see how playoffs itself does resolve. The Miracle Run looked absolutely crazy. At the beginning of it, I know when we've talked individually, you seemed not very confident, but at what point do you think that changed, or were you scared up and through this day?
You forced my hand, dude. No, I'm kidding. I think Sam is really good at shot calling. I think we have the best macro out of any team. Because I do think Sam is the best shot caller. So.
That's a tough claim. I mean,
you're talking to seeds 1 and 2 here, boy.
No. I mean, your seeds are better because you have better solo lanes. I don't think
wait. We have better. Okay, I think argument for Silicats fair. They have very good mechanical players, but our team has historically kind of fumbled every single early game, and then kind of managed to bring it back through macro basically every game. I
don't think your macro is good. I think your champ pools are good. I think you guys always play meta champions, which you should. You should always play meta champions.
So you're saying it's
you guys
a team fighting gap and not a
I think you guys have
I think it's a meta defining gap.
I think all your players are willing to play meta champions, which is obviously always great. So you don't really have drafting issues. I think that's why your team is good, in my opinion.
Twitch chat, can you go ahead and please clip the part where Dean said Silicats has mechanical players? I want to keep that forever.
But
credit to you and Silico and Jonah. I don't know if the champions he plays really qualify as mechanical, but he certainly pilots them well. And Joey, again, I was campaigning for him yesterday. I believe that man deserves first team all scrims top laner, hands down. He's gapped everybody. That guy has hands for days.
All right. Well, we can continue this if you guys got more questions, but I do have one specific question for Dean.
Oh, is it the question?
Are you guys?
Because the answer is Mimos. We're not fucking playing Teddy. Good luck, bro. I know Teddy has been hyping up this season. He does want to play the 80 carry versus Silico matchup, so I'm gonna give him a chance to see if that does
I'm
end up
really
happening in
excited.
playoffs. So,
Wait, I already played it. I dumpstered him. What do you mean?
wait, no, you didn't in team format.
Yeah,
But
I did.
we won
Oh.
the series.
Hey, you guys did win the series, but I still dumpstered him in bot lane.
Wait, am I forgetting this game entirely?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, please clip that as well and send it to Silico. Let him know.
Wait, this is when I played Nyla, and I literally like egoed them. I just like sat in their base.
I wasn't casting
And
that
then-
game, so I didn't remember it. That's my bad. Okay,
But no, it'll happen again.
it'll happen
Oh,
again.
Teddy, you got in the Twitch chat here. Back to never playing Twitch for another year. Cries and being stuck playing MF for like 10 games.
Hey, I told Will, MF is broken. He wanted to play Kaisa. I'm sorry, Will. I know you wanted to play Kaisa, but MF is just so broken.
Oh my gosh, everybody.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Yes. You did play it twice, but he was playing Seraphine both games, so does that really count as an 80 carry versus 80 carry matchup?
Yeah, Seraphine
Thinking
is so broken.
emoji.
Seraphine bot is busted. I play Seraphine bot.
Well, I'm just saying, does it count as an 80 carry? Also, the Cog Lulu performance from you that series, despicable.
That's not my fault. That is not my fault.
Whose fault is it then? Throw your teammates under the bus.
Somebody kept getting one shot without pressing R. I'm not going to name names.
I think
Oh,
there's only
alright.
one person that could be. So we see Teddy flaming his own team. Maybe I'm trying to sow some seeds of disaster going into playoffs, tank their performance. Who knows? But I wonder if those will be the roles again going into it, or if you will try your hands against Valor. Could be big. But maybe I'm doing it by saying that. So we'll have to see. But yeah, anyway, our team will be taking the matchup versus Mimaz. We do have a bit of a rivalry against them. You could think it's a bit troll for us to do that because they are our single loss in the regular season. But what can I say? We are an ego team. We lose to you once, we got to
Subtle
kick your
flex
ass
on
the
Dean.
next few games. So
If that's the case, then
and
we're coming
we
back
will
for the next
finally
2
get a
hours.
series against them. We have only been playing BO1s against them so far, so it'll be nice to get to play more than one game consecutively against Mimaz and truly see who the better team is. So I'm excited for that, and Silicaz versus Kathy's Kittens is going to be a banger. I know last time you guys played, Silico typed at me, he goes, "I'm worried, man." So I think this should be pretty exciting for all involved.
I think this whole playoff is going to be a banger.
Yep.
I'm
And
excited too.
all Scrims voting, as well as MVP and some other awards, will be opening either tonight or tomorrow, depending on how much motivation I have. And there may or may not be some sort of Scrims-related podcast going on between me and Mason, where we'll kind of discuss our thoughts regarding the season. Probably accepting guest callers as well could be a fun thing. More information on that will be coming soon. But I think it could be cool to discuss kind of like the server's general opinions on players for people who didn't get to watch too many of the games, so we can kind of see what the consensus is on who the power players are to kind of look for going into playoffs and just who to honor for their performance throughout the season. The LCS hat, let's go.
Yeah, we got this from the Chicago trip we went on to.
That's awesome.
The LCS finals. Yeah, it was pretty
Yeah,
dope.
I've heard some of you are actually getting to go to Worlds, so excited
Yes.
for you guys. I'm gonna go to Atlanta. Hopefully, my boy Ruler will be there. I'd love to see him kick some ass, but I honestly do not know how it's gonna go. But hopefully, you're making it to groups or knockouts.
I'm going to groups.
Okay, so I hope that's a banger. I feel like groups is always pretty fun.
GG's again to Kathy's Kittens and Clawseted Furries. Really insane couple of games.
Yeah, honestly, just like bangers all day. So shout out to Mimos as well. It was pretty good. But
And
yeah,
to Jamley.
again, I will plug Scrims meetup for Worlds Finals November 5th. We'll be in like kind of South Central PA. Let me know if you're interested in going. We are running a whole house. Should be a pretty fun event. So feel free to DM me if you're interested. We should be able to provide transportation for most people who need it. So would love to have anyone there. It's always great to get to meet people in person. So just going to plug that one more time. And we should probably be hosting esports watch parties for Worlds in the voice call when we're not actively running games. So would love to get some engagement and stuff going on. huge fan of everyone in the server and love to see how much our Twitch chat has grown over the past few weeks. We went from averaging like sub 10 viewers and feels like we're always kind of like the 17 to 25 range. So much appreciation to all you guys out there, especially those who have subbed with Prime or just subbed in general. Love the support. So should end the stream right now. Not sure what else there is to discuss, but playoffs are going to be fucking hype.
How do you feel about Team Flying Oysters?
I mean, I predicted 100 Thieves getting 4th in the group, so I'm not surprised. C9 is the only NA team I didn't put in last place, and I'm starting to regret that. So
Sam Scott is an enormous 100 Thieves hater. Sam Scott thinks 100 Thieves is the worst NA team. He
We
thinks they're
literally
worse.
have NA has the worst groups pools this year. Like hands down, this is our hardest year to get out of groups.
yeah, I mean, LCK and LPL are just too good. So it's just kind of tough.
And now that they get to be in every single group, it just makes everything way harder.
I mean, maybe we'll see another like top esports moment that we had last year completely flop, but who knows?
No, that
Or was that FPX? That was FPX. I'm trolling. My bad. Apologies.
No, we only see Cloud9 or North America get out of groups when Cloud9 has to play through play-ins first, and they look
True.
like they're
No
the
play-in
worst
buff.
team, and then they just fly all the way through.
Yeah. All right, but anyway, good luck to every team in playoffs. That isn't anyone but KGS. We need the luck. We're gonna win. You know, it's easy dubs.
Good luck to everyone. We'll be seeing you in finals.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
true.
Whoever's facing us, I'm sorry that we start off with a 1-0 victory, but
You know who you're facing. You're facing Teddy's team. He's in color.
no. I'm saying whoever faces us in the winners or in the finals, because isn't it finals? Finals
True,
starts
true,
with 1-0. Yeah, so whoever has to face us,
So
they're
you
winning.
start with
okay.
1-0 in the finals?
Yeah, so if
No,
you don't
it's-
ever get knocked into losers bracket because you never lost a series, you get to just start.
That
with
is
one
so
victory.
cringe.
Okay, see, you say that, but it's literally less advantageous to winners than a bracket reset, and it's less games to schedule. So,
Oh my goodness.
okay, Teddy, if
You
you
hit
care
him with
that
the
much,
shrug.
don't drop a series. I don't know what to tell you.
You can get the 1-0. And sadly, you're facing us in the beginning, so.
We love to see the Panther. All right, I will cut stream. Thank you to everyone who watched, and playoffs should be hype. So, hope to see all of you in Twitch chat for that.
Do we fight to hold our heads up high and be